put candy out in a basket, and then I came
babe.
downstairs and
What?
Trav already brought it in.
We actually might get trick-or-treaters, not even joking.
Oh, wait, could you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we put stuff out, but then I walked downstairs and he brought it back in and was like, no one's coming.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I don't think anyone's coming. Wow. Wolf, why is he talking to us if he's busy?
Password more fish.
That's crazy.
Is there more stuff we can interact
No,
with?
don't
up
change
there?
it. I already texted Raid what the password was.
No, babe, I can't change it if we're in the lobby.
Oh.
Joke.
Stop. Collaborate with Christy.
Yeah.
There we go.
There we go.
I'm here. Yay. We share chat.
We share chat.
You just look so sad.
I look sad.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh,
my god,
Are
I
you-
always forget to freaking open streamer bot.
It wasn't me.
Why was
It was not me.
Why was it like Dukes of Hazzard beeping?
Wasn't me. You have no proof.
Did I pick a good character?
Yeah. So your character is like a tarot card from Phasmophobia. Her ability, it's completely random. Like you can have cards that you can throw on us that can, or you use yourself that can either hurt or help you, or hurt or help us. You have teleportation cards. You have the ability to revive someone if they die. You have the ability to trigger like hunts. If you want to. You have the ability, to stop hunts.
You have the ability to weaken the ghost, strengthen the ghost. It's really just a mixed bag of like whatever you pull.
I don't understand. Every time I open one of these beers, it fucking explodes. Every
That's what she
single
said.
time. I'm just gonna use this. Every time! Why does that happen to me every single time?
Okay. I told Rain to jump in whenever.
All right, you ready?
Yeah.
Name of the Father, the Son, the Holy Spirit. Amen.
You're a vampire, dude. The fuck you doing with a cross?
I'm a priest.
A vampire.
A vampire priest? You have blood
Yes.
coming out of your mouth.
Yeah, that's not very holy.
It's not. That's not very priest of you.
You imposter.
And you know what? Actually, it is. All right.
You want to see some very priest of me, Gab?
Oh, what are you doing to me? Get up.
What the
Get
fuck?
away. He's using his fingers.
You're overdue for confession, young one.
That's crazy.
Wait, how
I
do
just
I
pissed off
use?
every
Do
priest
I have
person.
a
Yeah.
tarot
I
card
forgot how
thing
the
that I
fuck you
can
get in
use?
the car. Oh, you just
Come here,
click.
young man.
Oh, there it is. Cute.
Come here,
That's
young
cute.
man. No, I'm just kidding.
Hi, here. I have a tarot card in my hand. How do I use it?
And I forgot if it's left click to use it yourself, right click to throw on us, depending on what you want to do with it.
Oh, I got the chariot, and it made me have wide vision.
Oh, you move faster too.
Yeah, you got the zoomies.
Yeah, fuck you, dog. I'm faster.
I'm fast as fuck, boy.
Fast as fuck. Look, here you go.
Funny.
Do you guys see how fast I'm turning in the car? Oh, I see you dancing.
How do you grab again?
I got in the car, and then you guys didn't come in the car.
I'm up. Okay.
You like this?
Ready?
Wee.
Ain't no party, ain't no party, ain't no party, ain't no
Oh,
party.
this is making me actually dizzy. Oh, how do I go?
How d Yeah, what? Why is that? Why aren't we going?
Q?
Yeah, on my end.
E?
Spacebar?
I press.
Oh, there we go. Oh. What?
I'm by myself. I'm scared.
We're all
I literally
here.
would be in the floorboard. Okay, so what should I take? Should I take a...
Flashlight, a magnifying glass, and then
Okay, magnifying.
because the magnifying glass, what it does is it identifies cursed objects that we have to sacrifice at the ritual site.
Okay, and then I need a bell too. Yeah, is that good?
Yeah, the bell takes care of the red mist, and you'll see what we mean when you see that.
Yeah, I saw it in the tutorial.
Yeah. The Diddy juice. All right, let's go. Vámonos. Those goody gang. Oh, this is miasma already. That's lovely.
Oh, use the bell. Use the bell.
Go into that red mist. We'll go look over here.
Okay, I think we're good.
All right, already found one.
Oh, nice.
I don't know where the thing is, so.
Ah!
Oh, it's down here.
Oh, I just heard
Yeah.
giggling. I didn't like that.
Oh, we already got one.
Also, you're limited on lights.
Yeah. Yeah.
You can do that.
Funny,
You'll start screaming.
Okay, I checked that room over there.
Upstairs.
All right, but I'm gonna look for the dolls.
Right here.
Oh, nice. Really?
It's right here somewhere. I just had. Oh, you picked it up.
No, I didn't.
Hey. Stop with the fucking shit, alright?
Oh shit.
I don't like kids.
Are you guys good?
We just saw
the twins.
Oh no.
Over here.
I'm not afraid of these cunts.
Hey, yo.
Someone let us spaghetti. I found one. Gab, come here.
What?
I found. Come over here. This is what it looks like. If you highlight the book over here.
Okay, nothing in there.
Yeah, there you go. Take it, pick it up, and take it to the circle.
I can't pick it up. I got free items.
What?
Hey,
Yeah,
come back.
yeah.
Come take it.
No, no, no,
I got free items.
Oh, you want me to do it?
Yeah, I got free items. They won't let me pick it up.
I'm gonna drop my magnifying glass.
I found one.
I found the
I
doll.
found the doll.
I found the doll.
I found the doll.
I got an item.
I found a doll. What's up, doggy?
Okay,
Fucking Sparky scared the shit out of me.
Forgot. How do you throw the items again? Oh. That's lovely.
Thanks, babe.
I'm fine. Okay?
You okay?
Yeah.
Oh, Gab's freaking out.
Gab, you okay?
Gab, you okay?
Where am I?
Gab, you're fine.
Gab, you're fine. Oh, you're upstairs.
I'm
Coming, Gab.
upstairs. Help!
How do you throw
I'm
again?
scared.
G.
G. Okay.
I'm coming. Gab, over here.
Oh, okay. Here, I see the red mist.
Kidding.
Oh my god.
Clean out the red mist.
Blue.
I'm
Ah! Fuck.
Oh, hey, what's up?
trying. Okay, she's behind me.
Oh my god, that's fast.
that's fast.
That scared the fuck out of me, actually.
I'm okay.
Are you good?
I'm okay. Yeah, I'm good.
Nothing.
Nothing. I'm not afraid of no blue bit.
Gab
Gab died.
No.
Oh, damn, that was crazy. We gotta find the last couple pieces before we get diddled.
Okay. Oh, the items didn't get reset. That's good.
Yeah.
The last item I threw down was blue. I forgot what the
Okay.
colors are.
Okay.
Probably upstairs. Oh wait, there's some items over here we haven't checked.
Yeah, we can. Oh, fuck.
Why is it yellow around me? Why is there a yellow aura around me?
Because I was protecting you. Hold on.
Oh,
We gotta find the other dolls, though.
okay.
To revive Gab, so we gotta go up here.
Okay.
Trying to find the dolls. Probably should. Hold on. Oh, hi.
What? What?
She turned the power off. It's okay. Turn the light on up here.
Okay.
You know what, girl? You are a bitch. Nobody likes you. Oh, she's hunting.
Oh, she's right there. Look. Leave me alone. Leave me alone. Damn it.
Are you dead?
Yeah, I'm dead too.
Yay! Bro,
little,
I don't know
little
what to do.
creepy ass girl.
I tried to run from her, but she's fast.
Yeah. If George finds the dolls, he can revive us.
Oh my god.
That's wishful thinking. You fucking Sparky bitch. Get the fuck out of me. Wishful thinking on finding that last doll. Oh my god.
Oh, nice.
Got it.
Got an item.
I popped it on accident. God, I hate this fucking game.
Hides in the closet. Oh, you could just walk in the closet like that?
I guess.
And then you're like hidden? Interesting.
Fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you. That's the last thing, right?
His running
Yeah,
sound.
that's the last thing.
Oh, no, there's two. Oh, yeah, okay.
Hope the last one. Oh, that wasn't. Well, I'm gonna get diddled.
Well,
What's
know
the
what
blue
red
doll?
meant,
Isn't that it on the screen?
Sure,
The
it's
doll's
not good.
upstairs.
yeah,
To the right.
we can see it, but he can't. He also can't hear us when we're dead.
Christy, tell him the fucking doll's in the other room, man. It's right there. Oh, fuck. What is she doing? Sounds like she's shitting like a horse right now.
There you go. You stupid kids. Hey, what's up?
Oh god.
Mm-mm.
Stupid ass, punk ass
Go in
kids. Y'all
there,
heard me, huh?
George. No,
fuckers?
George, go back. The doll's in there. Right over there, George. It's over
Not scared.
George, you're so close to the doll.
He
About to
actually
get
is.
diddled, aren't I?
Oh.
Oh, there
Oh,
it is.
maybe that's the last item.
Oh,
Sparky, get the fuck over here.
I'm dead. Oh, hey, I know Camet.
I dare y'all fuckers to jump me. Do it, pussies.
Oh, I gotta fix the
Yeah,
thing.
That's it. GG's.
Yeah.
Yeah, George carries us.
Cry, little fuckers.
Oh my god.
Be fucking crying.
Oh my god.
You failed. Cunts.
Wow, he's actually being
Like
a
being
priest.
dead.
Good job.
Can't even do that right.
Oh my god.
That's crazy.
That's wild. Oh, an achievement.
Unlock another.
Oh, did we get skill tree stuff?
I leveled up.
I want. I'll buy it.
Nice.
E. E. So yeah, I would carry the doll with you just in case, because it's like a second life.
I think you can only get. If I want.
I'm reading the skills. I'm sorry.
I thought
No,
we
you
could
no,
only
take
have,
your time. Take your time.
I thought the dolls you can only have one per game.
No, you can have two.
Oh, okay. I go.
You dumb? That's spicy water over there. It's trying hard. That was a little too easy.
What do you mean easy? Me and
I
Gab
just
both
like you ever
died.
hitting, huh?
Yes.
That was funny.
There we go.
Oh my god, that other flashlight is
Okay.
stuck.
I love you.
It's stuck.
No, I don't want to quit. I
Oh,
don't
there
want
we
to
go.
quit. No, no, no.
Maybe just keep hitting it. There you go. Where's the other doll at? I forgot. Oh, there it is.
How do I throw the cards on you?
I think it's left or right.
Well, I hit right click and it, I guess, puts it on me. I'm not sure.
Okay,
Maybe
try it
left?
again and hit left click.
I have to
Hit
wait.
left. Yeah, that's okay. Take your time.
We're gonna try hard.
We're gonna try hard this time.
Oh God!
Also-
I just
also,
died
Gab-
on normal.
That's
Okay,
what
fine,
I'm
go back to normal.
saying.
All right, Gab. So whenever a ghost hunts and like we're together, just I hit this. If you stand around me, you're protected
Okay.
by the power and Lord Jesus Christ. He protects thee and the Father, the Son, the Holy. Okay, I'm done.
Just checking the
Where the
time
fuck
to see
is
when
the-
this sermon's over.
That was funny.
Oh, there, cat.
Oh my God! It's the
Maxwell.
ooh ee ah ooh
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh, yeah, oh.
ooh ee ah ooh ooh.
Oh yeah.
Oh, Gab, I was telling Christy
I
that
got an
I'm-
achievement.
Yeah.
Yeah, and as a group, I'm surrounded by women. That includes Wolf.
Okay, I don't want to
Yeah,
hear
we'll be
it,
a
but
little
you know how many
bitch.
times I've been the only girl in lobbies?
Yeah.
Like, way too often.
Same. Same. And then
For the
like
first time ever.
you'll find another girl and you'll be like, "Oh my God, hi!" And then they'll be like, "Hmm," and you're just
Judgmental.
like, "Oh, you're one of those."
And not us, though.
No.
Yeah.
Surrounded by two autistic
It's kind of funny
girls.
because there's like a flame behind your head sometimes, George. So it looks like you're on.
I'm dancing in hell. Come on, jump on it. Jam on in hell, boys. All right, ready?
Yeah, I guess. I'm gonna try my best.
I
I have 210. What is that? Pound? Quid? What is that?
Ooh, we can. I think it's pound. I think it's pound. I want to buy this, babe, and I'm gonna put this in the breaker. So what it is that whenever the ghost trips the breaker, it automatically resets the breaker without us having to be there.
Okay.
It's kind of cool.
Should I buy a doll?
No.
No. I already bought enough for everyone because it only limits it to per party.
Okay.
But you can carry it though. You and Christy can carry one. I don't really need it.
Okay.
All right, fucking bitch.
Oh.
He's low-key throwing shade on us.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not carrying it. Fuck you.
Sanity routine. I like that. Let's do that. Let's do 18.
Okay, so those were the twins. These ones.
Yep, the cunts.
The
Annette
cunts.
must be comforted when found crying. How do you do that?
Talk to it.
By what? Am I gonna just pull out a tarot card and be like, "Here, bitch," and smack her forehead with it?
I don't know. I just yelled at him anyway. It's like you're so bad that you suck at dying, bro. Like, come on, get out of here.
I guess
You know
let's go
what's-
find a new ghost. Yeah.
No, Gab, come here. Do you know what's the scariest ghost?
Oh, I'm coming. What?
Scariest ghost to deal with is this fucker.
Oh, that's Wolf.
That's wild.
Wolf is a thin, gaunt man with long, bandaged limbs. He's an
He
aggressive
does.
apparition, but is extremely sensitive to loud sounds. Yeah, that's definitely Wolf.
I told you. I thought that was him. Look at his arm. Got a bandage on.
That's
That's
a
him.
Oh god. That's funny.
Wolf. Here we go.
Oh,
Lego.
I'm coming.
I'm coming. Lego.
Lego.
I have one cursed item.
Yep.
The fuck was you doing, Cupcake?
Cupcake. I want a cupcake. That sounds good.
Cupcake is the name of the dog.
Yeah.
I always call him Sparky, though.
I'm not taking the dog. I'm not taking the dog. I'm gonna take what I took last time, and I'm gonna get better at this fucking game.
Found one. I'm gonna drop this off over at the breaker.
Oh! Okay.
You bitch. Hey, baby.
Hi.
Oh, we're upstairs. Wow,
Yeah.
what a...
I'm coming.
I'm lost. Oh, the stairs are over here. Do.
Oh, Gab, you also haven't seen the mimic yet. That's so funny.
When you see it.
Oh, yeah.
I'm gonna go diddle the miasma. Sparky, get over here.
Oh.
I found one over here.
Why am I so shiny? Fucking sun. Come, my child. I hear that you are lost. I will show you the way.
What happened to Gab?
Babe,
Babe,
What?
turn around.
hello.
Hello.
Oh. What the hell?
Okay, so
Sorry,
it
Rain
teleported
just texted me.
upstairs.
Nice.
I did the hey, will you grab this cursed object over here? It's right there. It's the notebook.
Got it. Dropping it off.
Good job.
I dare this ghost to jump me. Yeah, shit. I'm afraid of you.
You hear that? I'm not afraid anymore.
I'm not afraid anymore.
Why does she keep doing that?
I know. Like, what the hell?
Whenever you throw the cursed object into the circle, she gets mad and she moans like that.
Oh, is it downstairs again?
Yeah, it's downstairs.
The circle?
I'm gonna keep up here.
Keep jack-o'-lantern.
Did we look all through here? Yeah. Hey, River! Thank you so much for the follow, dude. Well, it's not follow, it's a sub for 15 fucking months.
Nice.
Holy moly.
Oh, baby. Maybe get
Hey.
inside deeper in the house.
How'd you get the pumpkin head?
Oh, what the fuck?
Look for the jack-o'-lanterns that are lit up. You pick them up for random power. My light is gone. I'm
Oh,
sad.
no.
I'm coming.
I'm coming. I got the miasma. Miasma, these nuts.
Okay.
What's this? Oh, it's just a cum stain. Oh, a doll.
That's wild.
Ew, a cum stain?
I'm gonna leave the bell here. Take this back to fill up the gas. I like how Gab said, "Oh, the cum stain," and walked right in to look for it.
I think 4. You need to find 4 now.
What's up?
Nevin.
What suitcases? Dabbing? No. I don't dab anymore.
Dab?
Yeah.
Gab. Got him.
Dab. Where's this? What a suitcase? Like, what the fuck?
Did we
Oh, wait,
look
here's
at all the
one.
rooms downstairs?
There it is. How do I drop this?
Jump scare me. Jump scare me.
What is that sound?
Jump scare me. Jump scare me, you fucker. Do it. Oh, that's lame.
You see something, Sparky?
Game
Hey,
is
how do you
stupid.
drop?
G.
Come
G.
here, look, it's a suitcase.
Okay, I'm gonna turn off this light.
Oh, okay.
Come on, Sparky.
Yes. Oh my God, protect me!
Is it really the suitcase? What the fuck?
What?
Why does she have
Why
a
does she have a
suitcase?
I
suitcase?
think I have to protect me. I'm
Protect
so
me.
heavy.
Where are y'all?
Yeah, I got you. I'll pop my.
Oh God.
Oh my
Hi.
God! I saw
Oh my
that.
God.
I saw that. I saw that. I fucking saw it.
Suitcase. I don't know what to do with that
Here,
suitcase.
I'm gonna drop it.
The fuck
I got
is
it.
that?
See? Find and return the suitcase. Right there.
Oh,
I got
nice. Good shit.
it. Yeah.
We need 2 more dolls.
Oh.
I've never seen the suitcase. That new?
I think it might be new. Oh, this bitch. Get your fucking fart stench out of this fucking place.
Hey! Hey! No! She's right there.
I know. Stay right here. Stay next to me. Shh.
There's a doll right here. I found it.
Why do you sound like that, you ugly bitch?
I know. Why do they sound wet?
We're good.
That fucking
Oh,
dog.
oh my God.
Hi, what's up, bitch? Oh, damn, you kind of bad, though. Hold on. Hey, come here.
Oh, what the fuck, babe? He literally chased her. What the fuck?
You try Arc Raiders? No.
That's wild.
Okay,
trying
so
to
we
put
need
some
one more
light.
doll? Because I found one. I found one downstairs. I found a doll. Oh. I also, Okay.
I refuse to believe this doll
is gonna protect me.
She
We're
gone.
good.
Why does your feet sound like wet as fuck?
Why do you sound wet as fuck?
Oh, Rain joined the chat.
Good shit.
Whew, that was crazy.
Gotta focus on. I'm gonna drop this.
Oh,
Bell.
whenever we drop this stuff, like, do we have to
My
rebuy it or do we take it?
I think Rain's in the lobby. I don't know if we need it back for her to join though.
We can, you fucking whore. We can bring her back in after this game.
Oh,
Oh,
Gab.
Gab.
Oh fuck.
Run.
Oh no, it won't let me come in. You're a bitch. You're a bitch. Hey, you know, you're a bitch.
Gab, shut the fuck up. Get me killed.
Look at me out here.
Come on, baby.
Look
Come
at me
here.
outside. Come,
Got you.
come.
God damn, that was scary.
Fuck you, bitch.
I fucking Gab was yelling at the ghost. I'm just standing inside her like, Gab, shut the fuck up.
I was trying to save Christy. Okay, we need literally one doll.
Okay. Well.
Y'all have fun.
Alright,
fun with
move as a unit.
Wait. Over here.
I'm
I'm gonna pop this really quick so we can return our sanity. Over here.
Okay.
There we go.
Okay.
All of
All of
our
our
sanity's
sanity's
Alright, let's move as a unit because George has superpower.
Unit. Oh, never mind. I didn't say that.
Did we look everywhere in here? Did we look everywhere?
Also, Gab,
I hope I don't get it.
Be careful.
Even if you find the cursed object, if it's purple, if it shakes, don't carry it. It'll be an auto kill on you if you pick it up and try to use it.
I ain't picking shit up.
a super cursed item. Okay. Oh. There
Oh.
you go. Because he found the last one.
Oh my god, my doll saved me.
Oh. This fucking game, bro.
Okay.
Get off of me. Did someone
Help
come help me
me.
on the second story?
Help me.
Upstairs? Oh, I'm good.
Are you good?
Yeah, I'm good.
I'm good.
I'm
Stupid
so scared.
fucking
Hand.
hand from the
Again.
thing got. Oh,
Get it, baby.
get it, baby.
I got it.
Nice.
She likes you,
She
yeah.
likes you, Gab.
I hate that bitch.
Hmm.
I hate that fucking bitch.
Oh god.
What the fuck? What?
Oh, damn.
What?
Ugly as
That
fuck.
scared me.
She teleported me inside the house.
That's fucking funny. Oh, this bitch got me.
How many items do we have left?
Wonder how long does it take them to find out I'm dead?
Oh, George is dead.
I'm dead.
To be honest, I forgot where I dropped my magnifying glass. Oh no, George!
Yeah, George died.
George!
I heard him say it IRL.
Oh no, can't remember where I dropped my fucking magnifying glass, dude. Oh wait, he has one.
Yeah, there might be. Yeah, there should be an extra one outside too. How many
I got
items
it, I
do we
got
have
it.
left? You know.
I don't know. God damn it, my cats are fighting!
Oh no. Oh fuck.
I'm fucking dead.
I might be fucked.
I'm good, baby.
Oh, okay, I'm good. God, her like wet ass feet.
Yeah, you. Yeah, it's fine.
Oh. What the fuck?
This is getting ridiculous.
Oh,
Oh, I'm back.
I'm back.
you're welcome. Oh god.
Oh,
Oh,
God.
God, Gab.
Yeah,
Gab did.
Oh no.
Babe,
Hey, did you put in that last thing or no?
No, I didn't find an item. I found the doll.
No, I'm the item from before those. Before I died.
Yeah, I did.
Okay. Okay. We gotta hurry. 'Cause I think she's getting to a point where my ability can't even help us, so. Oh, what's up, bitch? Hey, baby. Moving up. Hi.
Oh god. Okay. Hopefully this is the last item.
All right.
I found
What's
an
good,
item.
Diddy? Bet.
God, I hear breathing behind me. I don't like it. Stop it.
Oh. No, we need one more.
Oh, damn.
Oh, reset all the items, though. That helps us. Oh, fucking miasma, bro. Really?
I think I've just played so many fucking horror games where I just don't get scared.
Oh, God.
Got.
Oh!
She got. She got. I
Why
heard
is
it
her
coming.
feet, like, so wet?
I don't know. George, you should just die.
Yeah.
God damn.
Send me a joy game, please. We're coming.
Oh, really? Really, you bitch? The miasma? You dirty cunt.
Run, George!
What are the odds? Nope.
There's a baby in the bathroom.
What the heck? Why is Christy's body just twerking?
Oh no.
That's cool.
You found it! Oh my god!
Go, go, go!
Go, George,
I'm going
run!
for it. What's that, bitch?
Run! Oh my god!
What's that noise?
She's
Got
like
it.
convulsing.
Easy game.
Suffer.
Suffer, little
Yeah.
cunt.
Yeah, fuck you, you bitch.
Repent for your sins. For the power of Christ, find your way.
Oh my god. There he goes, doing priest things.
Fuck you, 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 fuck you. Damn good.
She was.
This game of my life.
We did it!
Is rain
Is rain
coming
coming in, babe?
Yeah. Ooh, I want that one. Oh, damn it, I don't have enough points.
There you go. I'm gonna buy the incense again. Really help. And that's what we do.
Well, I died again.
Again. Okay.
Fuck you, George.
I'm just kidding. What's the three? What's three? Oh, agility. Energy drink. I don't want that shit. What's one?
Oh, fuck, sorry.
Oh, girl.
Unit.
Sorry.
Sorry.
I never think of a.
Sorry.
Sorry, not sorry.
That's kind of cool. I'm buying that. Like, how many can I have of those?
I got the flashlights.
I mean, I think we should use lanterns because they're better than flashlights, and you just have to come back out and recharge them.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and they help you from getting sanity damage
Oh, how many
in the
can we
darkness.
get?
So, hold
There's
on.
a
See what it
skill
does?
They never had this last time, guys.
Hey, Rain.
Hey, girl.
Yeah.
Hi.
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 Yeah, they had a lot of updates in this game. It's kind of cool.
Yeah, there's a skill tree now.
Yeah.
Also, rain.
Also,
Oh,
Rain, look,
wow.
I can't shake the vending machine
Hey,
like I used to.
girl.
Hey. I'm not my usual person. That's so odd.
Yeah, I know.
It's
Oh,
okay.
Rain.
Is this your person?
Yeah, no, it's all good. I don't mind being the sexy librarian.
Library.
I don't know.
I feel like all of us have posture issues, dude.
I know. I was saying that earlier. Like George looks like he looked like
Hi, Murda.
a hunchback in Notre Dame.
What if I am? Leave me alone.
Oh my god, are you guys having like a learning curve with this game yet? It's been so long.
Yeah.
Little bit, yeah.
So
There-
it's like
yeah, there was like
eat-
things I forgot already.
I'm punching you, Kev.
You really are, dude.
Did you
And I'm, like, holding my
see?
hands up like no?
Chrissy, did you see
stop.
my makeup?
Yeah, it looks crazy.
No, IRL.
Wait,
IRL.
IRL. Oh, on your stream.
Yeah,
Let
I
me
always
look.
do. Yeah, I have spooky makeup.
Let me see. Let me see. I was gonna say your makeup in game looks kind of crazy.
Oh, my makeup right now is crazy.
Yeah. Let
Just waiting, guys.
me see. Let me go to your stream.
I'm literally just dancing in real life as well.
Oh my gosh. Wait, is that the like the chick from Resident Evil?
One of them. I'm one of the daughters from Resident Evil 8.
Yeah. I knew it.
Oh, E says, baby girl number 1, how have you been?
I'm good. How are you, baby girl number 2?
Where's those? Oh my god, is that Chucky as the dog?
Yeah.
Terrifying. Wait,
Yeah, his eyes
So
glow in the
I-
dark too.
Look at the little
do
knife.
they?
He scared me a couple
Oh.
times when we were fucking getting hunted. Come
Oh,
running up
God.
the steps on me and shit. I'm like, what the fuck?
He just like immediately looked up, and that was scary. Like, when animals actually do that, like there's a ghost for sure.
Oh, he's a baby.
Good job,
Oh,
baby.
so the new Yaku estate.
Yeah, are we gonna do?
Rain, did you want to just jump into that or just take a tour through
we-
the normal map?
Oh, we could do the normal map probably just to get. So Q, how do we
Right.
use this book? Oh,
Q
gosh.
is abilities,
Yeah,
I think. And then, yeah.
I'm fucking.
Oh, we'll figure it out.
I forgot how the book worked. Yeah, that's a good point.
How do I throw the cards on people?
Oh, I got you.
E?
Okay.
No,
I guess I'll
maybe
try that
Q.
next time.
Q. Oh, right click it. Right click it.
I did
think you. Huh.
Maybe the chariot just does this.
Easy.
Okay. Yeah, we can just go straight into it. That'll be fun. Oh,
Alright.
I'm gonna die. I'm gonna die.
Let me see how many lamps I
died
can
twice.
have.
I died twice.
Let me see. Oh, right, I'm out. There's the max there. It sucks.
I like
Oh,
what
you-
they did with the place.
Oh, Rain, you can go upstairs now.
Oh, there's
Yeah.
upstairs?
Yeah, there's like games and
Ooh.
stuff. Yeah, you can play like air hockey. I don't know if these games work or not, but there's like
I think
you
I
could
saw the update said it does.
yeah, you could actually like play the air hockey and the darts.
Did they get sponsored? This is cuisine art.
That's so funny.
Like a Mega Man.
Okay. You ready to go? Ready to go, baby girl? Mm,
I'm
I haven't
ready.
kissed you in a minute. Give me.
Tricky ghost. Shadow's a stealthy silhouette.
It's tricky to rock around.
Oh, I think we fought the widow last game. Yeah, that's
The
the
widow?
tall lady.
Oh, is that her?
Yeah, that,
Yeah, that
was
looks
tall,
like that
lanky
bitch.
That
The
baby.
Looks
twins
like
is
that
funny. Anne and
Ooh.
Annette.
Oh, they're
Yeah, the
gnomes?
twins.
There's a monkey? There's monkeys now?
What?
Ooh,
There's a monkey.
Monkeys?
Yeah, isn't that a monkey with a...
clapping monkey
What are-
toy can distract the ghost
Oh, it is.
for
George!
breakers.
Don't.
Wow.
And then,
Yeah.
Don't
what's
do
that,
that.
though? What's 16?
I can't unlock it, unfortunately. It's incense.
Oh.
We got 2 of the
Ah.
dolls. It only lets you get 2 per party.
Oh, okay.
Also, Rain, that lantern you see here, you should use that instead of a flashlight because it functions as a light source and it prevents your
Oh.
insanity from draining in the darkness. But it's a limited time use, but you can recharge it with the car, I think.
Oh, okay. That's sick.
Does it only let us get
Yeah.
2?
Yeah, don't let me get to. Y'all can use that. I can use the flashlight like a little bum.
Like a little bum.
What's a little? Wait, hold on. Babe, can you buy like 2 more
I
flashlights?
just realized something.
Yeah.
It's 6.
You get it?
69. Nice. Oh.
Get out of the way, babe.
Are you talking to your dog?
06.
Good boy.
What a good boy.
Oh, let me
I
buy
wish you
another
could change the
lantern.
dog.
But yeah, babe, it won't let you put one down. That's the thing.
Reach maximum item of this.
Let's see.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and then Jay's journal.
Okay. Did we get 2 flashlights?
Yeah, we have 2. So I mean, well, that means 2 other people can use the lanterns. 2 people can use.
Okay,
I'll
that
use the
doesn't do
flashlights.
anything.
Oh wow, these lanterns are crazy.
You're crazy,
Very
Gab.
steampunk.
EQ.
Oof. I'm making a sparkling water. My stomach.
I can get it. I'll be right back.
Oi. Thank you, baby.
Okay.
You didn't have to get it
Yeah,
for
the
me.
cat.
Ah.
The cat is still dancing.
Why
Okay,
are you messing
I
with Abby?
I don't. Christy, did you do this character at all?
The one you're playing?
Mm-hmm.
No, I haven't played her in like a minute.
I'm trying to. How does her ability work?
I know. I think you're able to see like the locations of the dolls, but I don't remember everything else that she could do.
Okay. And then now try Gabs, try Q, and then you try use your card, and then I think you can flick it with the right mouse, I believe. You should be able to. No?
I pressed everything.
Here you go, baby.
Oh, thank you, my love.
I don't know. I could just be retarded.
Me too.
I'm trying to figure out how the fuck I throw cards. I would be like, damn it. And this shit's just like, yeah, nah.
I am so confused on how to do this.
Maybe.
That's it. Do you want to switch characters? Because they're both confused.
Yeah. Okay.
Here. I go
Go ahead
ahead
and do
to
that.
character select.
Oh, okay. I know how to use the other character.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, here, go
log in.
ahead. You can.
Cool.
There you go.
Thanks.
Maybe it's E. Is it
There
E?
you go. Go
No,
ahead,
it goes
Trev.
like this. Oh, I used it as High Priestess, but yeah, you get it, and then I forgot how to use it. Let me see. Settings. Input settings. How do I flick it? Flicking it, interact,
You have chocolate milk.
drop it. G, no, there's like I know
And
Q.
Diet Coke. You're
Right mouse.
hilarious.
Right.
And I think it's E.
Man, every time I open a beer, it explodes for me. Can you?
It
Can you
explodes?
open the next one for me? Yeah, would you
kitty?
please?
I've never had
Yeah.
a beer explode on me. I don't also drink
Every
beer.
time I open it, dude, it just be like, and then it foams
Never had beer
out.
explode on me. I also never had beer.
I also don't drink beer.
Oh, Gab. Rain, did
What?
y'all switch characters?
Yeah,
Yeah.
they did.
Nice. Okay, I was
So
going crazy
this-
for a second.
So this, and then I do this. I get the card, and then I flick it towards. No, how do I flick it towards someone again?
I have
That's
no
what.
idea.
Yeah, that's
know
what we were
either.
trying to figure out earlier. Did you try E? Or
Yeah.
G?
I'm just gonna look.
Well,
Settings.
G is a drop, so maybe not.
Input.
I don't know.
The cat committed regicide, so I can't buy
Oh,
chicken.
what are emotes? Oh,
What?
Sorry,
How do you
guys, I'm not
emote?
cheap.
F1,
Just
F2.
looking.
Oh, F1.
witch.
She's a witch. She's a witch. She's a witch.
Christy, turn
witch?
around. We're witch.
Witch. Hand me its minute. I got better.
I got better. Oh, look at that. Bye, bye, bye.
The little
F4 is a
fuck?
diddle button.
wait, the
That's
little
Okay, so
the little smiley face on this pumpkin looks so cute.
you're cute.
What are y'all doing?
I'm a
What the
priest.
fuck?
I'm a priest. What do you mean?
He's touching
Here.
me, Chrissy.
Here.
Babe, stop
You're
it.
inside.
He's diddling everyone.
Welcome to the
You're
party.
inside him. Press
What the
A.
fuck?
Imagine I take my
Alright,
mask off
my
and I'm just
turn.
Diddy.
That's crazy. Guys, look at the little
Happy
tiny
Halloween,
smiley
I'm
on
Diddy.
this pumpkin.
Where?
Oh, okay.
Point to it.
What?
Uh,
Equip the card and then use a dedicate throw button.
There.
It may be
this
left
one.
click. It doesn't know. Okay,
Oh,
so
that's so
that.
cute.
That's
oh my
what
god,
I
it looks like you're
say.
kissing him.
Ooh, I'm fast.
We're Mr.
What's up,
Scarecrow.
boy? Oh,
Jordan,
okay.
Fast as fuck.
What are you doing? What are you doing?
Don't worry.
You're
Don't worry
just
about
touching
it.
everything.
No.
That poor pumpkin. All right, get in the car, bitches.
Okay.
Let's go.
Throw you through.
Okay, that's I'll figure it out eventually.
Ooh, yeah. Oh my god, it takes so long to load in.
And I just wanna be the one.
Who wants the lanterns?
I got.
The lantern, what do
Yeah,
they
I
do?
can use the lantern. So they're like flashlights, but they function as a sanity preserver in the darkness. So you don't need to turn the light on when you have it on. But be careful though, it's limited. You need to recharge it. by coming
You
back
want
in.
lantern or flashlight?
You have to come outside to recharge it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and then there's
I'm
our
gonna put.
thing.
Okay.
I'm gonna
Oh,
put
right
this
here.
thing here.
Magnifying
put it right here.
glass.
Oh, you need our ding ding.
Ding.
Shame. Oh wait,
A ding ding.
A ding
ding
ding.
ding. You ready?
A dinghy.
Let's go.
Oh boy. Already? That's like quick.
Okay.
I don't want to waste my lantern.
Oops. Oops.
Oops.
Oh, that's how you do it. Oops.
Oops.
What?
Hey, your dog's barking.
Your dog's going crazy. Whoa.
Where are you, Sparky?
Running.
Sparky, what do you see?
Sparky. Oh god. Sorry guys, I cleaned it all over you. It's kind of gross. I forgot
Sparky.
you named your dog that.
Yeah.
Damn it.
Well, his actual name is
Nothing.
Cupcake, but that doesn't make sense in my head.
Someone's here.
Found one.
Ooh.
Oh hey baby.
Hey.
What about this plant? No? Oh. Well, that's not nice.
Oh, wait, I
What?
just scanned these, so the items reset.
That means someone found one. Bitch.
Ooh.
Where'd my lantern go?
I don't know, where did your lantern go? Gotta make sure we don't
That was like
have all the lights on. He's bad. He's bad, you know?
He's bad.
1 second. Why is that shit?
Hi, Sparky.
Hey, Sparky. Okay. Okay.
Okay, I think we scanned everything in
Did
here.
you... In here? For sure?
Yeah. Yeah, I think
100%?
so. I think so. I think we're good in here. Turn off the light.
You left me in the
What's
dark.
up?
Oh, sorry.
What's goody? Say hi to my friend over here.
Tell me
Oh,
you
she's
don't
gone.
love me without saying
Wow.
words.
What was up with that?
Actions.
We're roommates.
Ah, sorry.
I saw me.
Ah, sorry.
This one. Right, bro. Oh, fucking goddamn it, dude. I don't want the plant.
Oh.
Oh. What?
Oh.
What?
It's actually an item.
What? It is? Oh. I knew that.
Do I have a room? Can I pick it up? I don't think I can.
Yeah. Why can't you? Are you full?
I think
That's what she
so.
said.
I have 3
I don't
items.
even know.
I thought the max. Oh my god. Okay, she took my doll.
Scared the shit out of me.
She took my doll. Okay. Let's go take
shit.
Let's go take it.
Oh my god, she just came out of nowhere. I hated that,
It was like a little gremlin.
What happened?
Nut,
The little demon child took my doll.
scared me too.
She was like running down the hallway, so silly. Like,
Oh fuck, I'm so fucked. Oh damn it.
What happened? What happened?
The little demon child took my doll. Took my
Oh, sick.
voodoo doll.
Whoa! Oh, that's your fucking dog, dude. Oh my god!
Oh god.
The power of Christ compels me. Oh, you're dead, babe.
Oh. Damn it.
Dead. She just ragdolls. It's pretty funny.
Did she?
Why am I
Yep.
twerking on the
I am.
wall?
No.
He did. It's okay. Christy's gone.
Damn.
That's okay. Skill issue.
Okay. Okay, I heard that, babe. What the fuck?
I heard a baby, or I found one. I don't know what I'm doing.
Oh, nice.
Is she back from the dead? Oh,
Yeah.
Chrissy, you're back. Welcome back, my love. I totally believed you were gonna live.
My body was like twerking on the wall. That was funny. Babe, I
need
heard
a-
what you said. So mean.
Survive with no casualties. Collect all the dolls. Find and return the suitcases outside.
It's just one suitcase. God, that fucking dog, dude. Put that thing on a leash.
He
Holy
helps
moly.
sometimes. Sometimes he doesn't help.
Where's
the
I'm gonna drop the light
Does
in
anyone
here.
have the miasma
the
thing?
oh the bell? The bell.
There we go. I got the bell.
Oh.
We need it.
You can't even take that bitch serious when she run like that. Oh. Oh, she's.
Oh.
Oh!
Oh.
Hey, I'm here! She
Hi.
teleported my ass.
Yeah, me too.
Oh, no. Yeah, I think they used the item or whatever. Nice.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
burned
it's like a
my
pumpkin
first
here.
thing.
Nice.
Ooh. Nice. Why is she crying? Shut your crying ass up.
Hey, she's down here crying. Oh, I need a bell. Bell to the front door. Oh, she's crying.
I know. Tell this girl to stop crying.
Okay, I'm coming.
Oh no, the generator.
I got it. I got the front door.
What do I gotta do for the generator?
Nothing. So that was the breaker. We have to go inside and flip it again.
Oh, okay. Here, come on.
They're gonna die.
What the fuck?
That's funny.
I didn't die.
Ugh.
No, Christy died.
Again?
So funny. She got revived and then she died immediately.
I might be able to get her, but every time.
Oh, she's right here.
Oh, thank God.
Chrissy's back. Yeah, she's back.
That was stupid. I wasn't even facing her.
Oh, my life.
Okay, I'm gonna
I
go
can't see.
get my fucking ass downstairs.
Got the miasma.
Oh my God.
Here, baby.
Follow me.
Follow me.
Okay.
We're good.
Oh, are you shitting me?
Hi, baby.
Hi.
Protect you.
Protect you. I have a doll. There's also a doll right here. I don't know if you saw.
There's a doll.
on the ground. They pick it up.
Oh, congrats, Mrs. Mendez. That's awesome.
Whoa!
Oh my god, you scared me. Yeah, you scared me. What the fuck? Oh my god.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Oh,
I
it's
found-
okay, it's okay. You just gasped so loud in my ear. Oh, I got this guy.
Congratulations, Midna. I found a cursed object.
Nice.
I'm gonna burn it. Be prepared.
What the hell?
Fucking like that.
What the?
I don't fucking like that.
That was like a witch laugh. Oh, Sparky's like barking.
I don't know what that was. Yeah, that was creepy. All right.
Sparky, what are you barking at?
Bet. I need to find a magnifying glass.
Oh. Nice.
Oh, I found one.
Oh, you. You whore! You get that back! You stupid whore!
No.
Give me that!
He's fighting the ghost. Fighting the ghost.
She took my item!
Someone's back.
Someone's back.
alive!
Gab's back.
That ghost bitch took my item.
That laughter that you guys heard was the ghost killing me.
Oh, was
that's
it?
funny.
I hated that. So not only does she run like Edna, but she also has a
Like Edna!
Oh,
another one.
Too many lights.
A bitch.
Also, where did I die? Because I dropped all my shit there.
Oh my god, Sparky scared the fuck out of me.
question.
I don't have nothing.
We can look
it-
for it.
Here, I'm gonna take a glow stick.
Yeah, the glow
I'm gonna be a
sticks
basic
work
ass
as...
bitch.
Yeah, they work as lights too.
Dude, there's miasma everywhere, bro.
The freaking
Oh, I was
little...
downstairs.
The freaking little ghost... Oh. Oh god.
I think I just flick it as somebody. E? No. G? Nope. Oh shit. No, I dropped it. Alright, I'll be right.
Okay. Sparky, can you be useful?
She's a bitch. That's all I'm gonna say is that she's a fucking bitch. I hate her.
Yeah, the freaking
down to get my stuff.
freaking little ghost bitch took the item like I found. I was like, you whore.
Bitch, dude.
Give that back. Oh, we need a miasma bell. Is George dead?
We need one more doll, and we still need to find a suitcase.
Is George
Alright.
dead?
I think so. George, are you alive?
What's good?
George, I'm
What's
trying
goody?
to find the suitcase. Oh, there you are. You found the suitcase.
Hell.
Come on, George. I'm trying.
Hi, babe.
I'm lighting the way.
Oh god.
Bitch.
Give me
Wait,
that
give me that
suitcase.
suitcase. You fucking cunt.
Oh my god.
Bitch!
Give me that shit.
Give me that shit.
Get back here! Oh my god, she really just stole that.
That's so
You
funny.
fucking
She
I
freaking
can't believe
Right?
she just
she
fucking
took
stole
my
that shit.
she took my cursed item from me too. I was like, you whore.
This Looney Tune ass shit, fucking right at the door, comes up, takes my shit.
She
You
really took the
fucking
fucking
cunt.
suitcase and ran off with it.
That's
She was
funny
like,
as
"Ah,
hell.
right now."
A ghost?
Yes.
Yeah, she took my suitcase.
Collect. We need one more doll.
Yeah, we need one more doll.
For the side objectives, right?
Also, come here.
Also, come here. Everyone, come here.
Oh wait,
Okay, come here. I'm
okay.
gonna pop this. All right, now we're all sanity's recovered, so we're good.
Oh, cool.
Ooh.
Everybody.
Is there
got
any way to
doll
check
pussy
it?
Like this.
No, I don't think so, unfortunately, which kind of sucks.
But that item recovers every consent.
Oh god. Oh.
Great.
She's right there.
GG's.
I know.
So if that's
Oh.
not it, T?
God damn it.
Okay, let me.
I'm
All right, I'm gonna go get some more gas for the.
Oh. Oh, okay.
Yeah, I brought you back, baby.
Thank you. Oh, hold on. Let me grab my shit.
Did you find the doll?
We gotta find that last piece though for the thing. Oh, nice.
Who's fucking making water? I don't like that.
Yeah,
Where
so you're
is
drinking
my-
a little too loud.
Someone ring a bell back here.
I think some rooms are just stuck like this.
Okay.
Because the
Wait, I think
when
no,
you
we
put
need
in
bell.
the Tamale Thunder, that's such a great name.
Do we have a bell?
I have a bell, but it's that room's probably stuck as a miasma room from the when we put in the sacrifice. I don't know, man.
Okay, I'm in the dark
This-
too long.
like-
I'm lost. My brain hurts. Okay. Oh.
I'm in the light.
We found it.
Yeah, I got it. Run! Help!
Help!
Help me, Tom Cruise! Help me, Jesus!
Help me, Jesus!
Help me, floating
Help me,
Peyton.
floating Peyton.
It's okay.
Oh my god.
First, need to open your inventory. No, that's not. Project unknown. How to throw the card.
That's it. Easy game.
Oh, yay! Let's go.
Oh, Gab died.
No, Sparky!
No, Sparky, please don't get in the fire. You're the most useful
Okay, let
member
me-
of the team.
Super useful.
Yeah.
She got me.
Oh, okay, guys. I found out. It's so back then it was a generic part of the ability, but now you have to unlock it in the trees.
What?
Ah.
The
Free.
for the tarot card thing?
Yeah. It's called dealer something. Wait, how do we get
Oh.
those?
Deal or no deal?
I think we get points like each.
Yeah, skill
Exorcism.
points, I think, for each
Yeah.
successful case. I could have been a crusader. Hold on, what does this do? Increase your max stamina.
Oh. I'm the dealer. It would be extra hand. That's what it is. It's extra hand. Okay, well that's good to know. Well, I kind of like that though because I love skills. I like that type
Yeah.
of shit.
Yeah,
it's
this
pretty
is cool. I actually like this girl. It's cool. I was finding stuff with her little grimoire.
Yeah, I wonder how we keep getting SP. Let's see.
I should have went crusader because I have an ability here that when I press the right mouse button with the cursed item, I can burn it instantly in my hand. I need to get that shit.
Oh, then the strength one protects you from death. Okay. What does the high priestess does then? I thought the high priestess was the one that protected you. Okay. Sure. Lock in. Well, that's good to know. I like that type of stuff though, so it makes it more makes you want to do. I like when they add things like that because
Should I be buying something?
Yeah, you don't have to.
You don't have to.
You got the stuff.
I'm level 3.
You
you
free?
turned.
I am
I
free.
Tree fitty? All right, let's do the Japanese house now. Yaku estate.
Fuck yeah.
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 Let's go.
Let's go.
Let's roll.
Let's roll.
Bet.
Cats are good, Paul. They're so cool. I like playing with my cat's Fupa though. It's so fun. You just sway side to side.
How do I go?
Being the darkness. Increase.
Oh, there we go.
Boy, what the fuck is this shit? Oh, we didn't bring any flashlights. Oh, there they are. What is this?
We didn't get flashlights?
No, we didn't.
No, he did. It just,
Oh.
Konnichiwa!
this looks cool.
Teriyaki Hiroshima!
Wow.
What?
Suzuki sued the Honda Civic.
Suzuki!
Samurai.
Ah!
Suzuki Subaru Honda Civic.
Sashimi.
You can't say that. How do we enter?
You can.
Where's the
It's
My
from
name
it's a
is-
quote from a movie.
Godzilla! Okay, I'm done.
Well, I'm quoting
Let's go.
Hika, so
How do we
let's go.
enter?
Gotta turn on the
That's-
generator there. There we go.
Oh.
Ooh, there's a lot of shit here. I'm
Do
gonna
you
take- I'm gonna
think?
take
Ooh,
this.
there's sushi, dude.
There's sushi. Oh.
Yeah. Do you think it's bad?
No, eat it. So,
Do you smell it?
Oh,
Oh,
did I
God.
just drop something? Yes, I did.
smells pretty bad if I'm being honest. Oh, these swords. Give me that.
They're
Oh,
little
baby.
swords. They're tiny.
Hey, the size doesn't matter, right?
Something just exploded back here, dog.
I mean,
Diarrhea.
I wouldn't know.
I wouldn't know, but you know.
Bad sushi.
Found one.
Found it.
Nice.
I don't know where this goes though. That's the problem. Hey, I can burn it in my hand.
You can burn it in your hand.
Okay, the flashlight
Yep,
don't
hit it.
work.
Oh.
Oh.
Very grudge-like. It's fine. You'll live. You'll be okay. Oh, here's another one.
Hey.
I just don't
Where
know
do we
the
go?
circle is, though. I don't know.
What the
She just closed
fuck was that? That was actually terrifying. I'm scared. Sparky, protect me. Oh.
Shit.
Okay.
Where am I? Oh, I'm right here. Bet. What's good again?
Hi.
Christy died. So
Christy fucking died?
yeah.
Let's see. Oh, I see it.
It's must be. This.
No, we can take it to miasma here. Hey, let's go. This sake? Sake?
That's not good.
Why are these light switches wooden? Look at this shit.
Oh, there's a
What?
doll. There's
The
a
light
doll.
switches are wooden.
There's a doll.
I think I found it, by the way.
Okay, where?
But I think it's right here. But I think it's in the miasma room.
Oh, I got you.
Is it? I can't see shit.
There we go. Let's see.
Yes, it is.
Yes, it is.
Yes.
Oh, good call.
Cool.
Rain. Nice.
I followed the blood.
Very smart. Yeah.
Is that red?
Look at this
What?
Genshin, or not Genshin, this mask. right here.
Genshin. Oh, Genshin Impact. That's my favorite video game.
Yeah, Genshin Impact. My fault, gang. I just pissed off a bunch of Japanese lovers right now.
Oh shit.
Oh, yay.
Not playing strategically.
I have a dog.
What the fuck is my shit?
Touch me. I'm just kidding.
No, I'm right here too.
Okay, we're good.
Oh, hey. Can I use your light? Thank you.
Except for not so weak to be happy.
Probably should be
My-
taking.
I think my.
Oh, I think my
body
lantern's
is
dead.
getting fuzzy, guys. Oh.
Hey.
I'm trying to find my magnifying glass. There it is.
Oh, fuck.
Okay.
I'm trying to get all the miasma.
Yeah.
How do I charge the lantern again? Oh, E.
I find that offensive because
Oh, that's how you charge it. Okay.
I got your back, Casey.
I got a salsa.
Oh. Hell. No way!
Oh, it's down here, guys.
Fuck!
Yeah.
Gab.
How did I die? I
Oh,
didn't even
you
know he
died
was
too?
hunting.
Gab.
He's like
I
right
didn't
by a
even know he
doll.
was hunting. This is fucking
She dead?
bullshit.
Rain. There's a mimic of you in there.
Is there? Is there?
Yeah, scared the
What does
fuck
it do?
out of me.
I
thought it was you. Then I saw the face. I'm like, oh. Then I ran away.
Oh, does it take on my appearance?
He was
Yeah,
right.
and then well, the face looks different, but your whole body
He
looks
was
the
right
same.
by
And
a
it sounds
doll.
like
Fuck.
you too.
Bye.
Oh, hi.
I got the hangman.
That's funny.
Oh,
You're like,
there's
bye.
an upstairs. I just realized.
Where's the doll at?
Upstairs. I didn't even know there was an upstairs.
I barely explored this map. I got like twice.
I know.
By the same like monster with like freaking glowing lights.
There we go.
Whoa.
Ew, 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 ew. Do you see that?
Ew.
Yeah, I do see that.
It's
What
just a
is that?
mimic.
Well,
I think
ugly
it's like a-
fucker.
It's crawling.
Yeah,
It's
it's
crawling on the
broke.
wall.
Oh, ew.
It's crawling on the wall.
Well,
Oh,
she's dead.
she's dead.
Wow, that was actually kind of fucking scary.
Oh god, that was so scary.
That was
Like,
actually
crawling on the
terrifying.
wall.
Found one.
No, not again.
Rain's back. She's like, no. It's so fucking funny. That was actually kind of cool. I like how it attacked her and not me.
Yeah, you taunted it.
Oh, hi. Don't.
What's up?
What's up?
A pumpkin fish.
Fuck away from me.
Wow. What was that about?
Okay, I have to-
It's a mannequin with a pumpkin.
I know.
Oh, I found another baby.
no.
What's coming back? Uh-oh. You will not haunt me, you hideous monster. Yeah, come here. Come here, cunt.
Yeah.
Come here, cunt. I need it. Oh my god, I need to fucking figure that miasma out.
Oh.
I'm gonna die.
No, you're not.
No, you're not. No, you're not.
No,
Oh,
she's
she's
good.
gone.
She's good.
Yeah, she's gone. It
Here,
doesn't last
here.
forever.
Help me. I have
I got you.
nothing.
I know. I'm
I'm very miasma-y.
trying to clear up the miasma here. Help me try and find Christie's dolls. We can revive her.
I found this lantern. Let me reach down.
Okay, good.
It'll stay quiet. Chat, am I gonna get hangman? Oh wow, look at that. Who would've got
There we go. Breaker's back.
God damn it, dude, I'm so fucked. I'm super fucked.
Really
It just closed. What the fuck? It closed the door in my face. We found all the dolls.
Okay, we're good.
Okay, we're good.
Hold on, babe.
Hold on, babe. We're trying to find the doll for you.
Oh, hi.
Oh, hi.
Where am I? I'm lost. I'm lost. Someone save me, please. I'm over here.
I can't. Well,
Are you upstairs?
Oh, I don't think that was an actual ghost.
downstairs.
No, upstairs.
No, upstairs.
Hey,
Upstairs.
Miasma. Right here. I'm right here.
I can't see. I'm very miasma-y.
Oh, wait, that's
Do you
not
have
That's
a
not,
light?
that's not right.
Oh,
That's
perfect.
Oh, that's
I
right.
have
Oh my
the
god.
light.
Oh, good. Let's protect her.
There's a suitcase
There's a
over here.
suitcase over here
We
too.
found all the dolls.
Yeah.
Yes, come this way. Come this way.
Okay. Oh,
Babe, I'm trying
Babe, I'm trying. I think the doll that's for you is in here. I think. I'm assuming.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Shit. Cool.
I don't believe. Hey, Bishop.
Yeah. Teabag it.
Where is your doll, babe? That's the crazy thing. I don't know where it's at. Oh. Okay.
Well, George, you'll do fine. You have the Christ on your side.
Yeah. We're just
Cat.
two spooky bitches.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm gonna get another energy drink. It's only 100.
You should be safe out here.
Yeah. Ooh. Don't tell Chrissy this, but you're looking for a good time.
Yeah, Chrissy doesn't have to know.
What?
Yeah. Okay. Well, we'll save it for another. Oh wow. What? You're. Oh my god. Oh wait. How do I do that? I want to do that. Wait. What button is that?
F4. F4.
F4. Oh yeah. Wait.
Do the
oh,
diddle.
No, wait. Yeah. Ooh,
Yeah.
Wow.
Double diddle.
Wow, they're flirting without me.
Chrissy's
They're
probably
flirting
losing her.
without me.
I'm like fornicating under cardinal knowledge. I
Nuh-uh.
don't condone this.
No. What?
We were
We
just
sound- We're desperate because desperate times, you know. Please don't be the hangman again because like,
Hiding spot there.
because that would suck, you know. Oh, Christy. Oh, she's alive.
Y'all
Hey, baby
were
girl.
flirting without me.
I knew you were gonna bring that up.
Chris,
That's crazy. Y'all were flirting without me.
he's coming.
Fuck.
Oh, protect me, please protect me.
Whoa!
Christy, don't stand in the middle of the
It's
doorway.
a shadow. It's the shadow, guys. I saw him. He stays in the room whenever. It's
The
dark.
Shadow Daddy's kind of hot, dude. Oh, Shadow Daddy got you. Well. Oh. I did not like that.
I don't have anything.
Kind of dead.
I don't have
Yeah, I
any
don't have-
items.
All my stuff is
He
just
died.
gonzos. And I keep
Who
getting
died?
the hangman. Gab did.
Oh,
Gab died.
well,
I'll use
kill
this
issue.
glow stick.
Yeah. When
Yeah.
it when it rub my glow
Hold on.
stick.
What?
Yeah, you heard me. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just like that.
Don't worry,
Don't worry, I'm gonna revive you.
Give me a second to find the doll.
Find the doll.
Yeah, it's any doll, right? Any doll, any doll, any doll, any doll, any doll.
Oh, this lantern.
Oh, I found stuff.
Oh God.
Hey, what's up?
Hey, baby.
Hi.
Just
Do we need another item still?
Yeah, we need a few, but we also need, I'm probably looking for the doll for Gab to get her back.
I need a freaking magnifying glass. I don't know where it is.
That is lovely.
You live? I think George's dead.
I'm alive.
That's good.
I know. I haven't even made it like past these 2 rooms in this whole map.
Ooh, I found one. Oh fuck,
I need a magnifying glass.
G.
I found one over here.
Oh, nice. I got a
Oh, you found it? Nice.
yeah. I just dropped the freaking lantern.
Oh yeah. That was a good one, Paul.
Wait, hold on. I can clear this out.
Oh,
Oh, that's fine.
oh God.
That's pretty good. That's fine. Yeah, that was fine. No biggie.
Hey.
That's the worst luck. You okay?
Babe, you're fine.
honey? I'm upstairs. Like,
I'm getting a flashlight next time. This thing sucks.
yeah.
Oh, fuck you. Get away. Oh my God.
Okay.
Chrissy,
I just
he's
cannot
literally he's been
live.
on top of you the whole
I
time.
know. I
can't
just like
believe
cannot
you-
live.
You're just standing in the dark, and he's literally just
That's so
following
hot.
you around. Like every
I
time you turned,
know. What
I'd
a
seen his body
freaking
just
stalker.
standing there, and I'm like, Chrissy, get in the light, dude. Oh my gosh.
What's purple mean?
I'm gonna get a flashlight next time.
What's purple?
I think the idea of the lantern is cool, but the fact that you have to recharge
What's
it is
purple,
so
guys?
ass.
Shuffles, curse out. Oh, that's no big deal.
You have to be so fast, dude.
Wait, how many do we have left?
You have to be really fast.
I did 2.
Yeah.
I think we're out of
I
rewind.
got
Oh, what's the game?
purple's a color in.
Yeah. Turn the light
No.
on. Turn the light on. No, he loves the dark.
Oh
I
no.
swear to God, if he lives. God damn it. He's gonna live. He's gonna live!
Purple, it shuffled all the cursed items.
Listen to Rain just talk. Meanwhile, George is fighting for his fucking life.
I honestly, truly don't know if.
That's
Oh,
good.
you're alive. I got 2 of the cursed items. I'm not sure what is left.
Okay.
The last one shuffled all the cursed items again.
Okay, I'm gonna ditch the bell then. I'm just gonna start using the magnifying glass. We just gotta win.
There's just one more.
Oh,
correct?
there he goes.
There's one.
Found it?
Got it.
Oh,
Yeah, I
fuck
got
yeah.
it.
Sick.
Oh, shoot.
Find the blood.
It's a fucking
Yeah.
shoe.
Just look for the stain. The guy's down here.
Here, by the way.
Stay.
He's right. Was there?
One more.
Mini ghost.
One more.
Oh, we're fucked then, dude. Mini ghost.
Fine.
It's the mannequin.
Oh,
I hate
nice.
this one. On God, I hate this one.
On God, bro.
Oh,
Oh,
God.
there's the baby. There's the baby. There's the baby. Look up, George. George.
I see your ass. Fuck, dude.
Like, what are you trying to do?
I'll keep an eye on the bitch.
Oh,
Yeah.
Hi.
Okay.
I'll keep an eye on the bitch. You go search.
Okay, I'll search.
It was
It'd
good.
be convenient. It would be super convenient if it was here, but I highly doubt it.
Yeah. It was
There we go.
goody Maniconi.
Oh.
Oh.
Found the doll.
Oh.
I love that. I'm alive.
Uh-oh.
That's bad.
He's hunting, or no, he's hunting.
He's hunting. Run.
We're good.
Actually, I gotta fix that. I don't like toggle for crouch.
Yeah.
Or hold.
Static. Or oh, okay.
You know what I mean?
Hold, so yeah, I got you.
Oh yeah.
You want it on
on toggle, right?
Yeah. Oh, I found the last one.
Nice.
Unless
right.
it's fake. I hope it's not fake.
That would suck.
That would suck if it's fake.
You know, it's the one that jumps. I didn't know that that's actually a mini ghost.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's how I died that one time.
Yeah.
Oh, my baby girl's dead, but that's okay.
Hi. Hi.
I threw it. Where did it go? Oh shit.
Where is it?
I don't know. Now we gotta look for it. Where's the light? Oh shit. I done goofed.
What was
Where is it? It was a urn. Bro, I done goofed.
She threw it. There's red gas.
Oh fuck, dude. Now we have to look
fucking
for it.
God, it got me again,
What the
dude.
shit, dude? I threw it and it just disappeared.
She killed us.
I call this. This is a joke. Oh, I can't see shit, man. Where is it? No, I had it and I threw it at the circle, and then all of a sudden, it's gone forever.
Okay. I'm coming.
Oh, they're both dead.
Oh, nice.
I can't see it.
I'm coming.
Yeah, I don't.
I'm coming.
I'm gonna clear my.
It was down there. I threw it, and then I'm not throwing. I swear.
Christy.
What can I bring?
Did you die?
Yeah, dude, Rain killed me.
Item.
What the heck happened with the item?
Well,
I don't know. I think she pressed
Oh.
G instead of E.
Well,
I
G
think
is
she
to
just
throw it
threw
down.
Yeah, but I think I think it threw it across. You know what I'm saying?
I'm gonna wait because I already know that if I use my
I
tarot
thought you have
cards,
to hit
I'm gonna get
E
hangman.
to
But that'll
put it
be a
on the
benefit to us.
circle.
I've thrown it down with G.
Are you alive?
I think you just have to throw it in the circle.
I don't know.
You-
it looked like she
you
did
good,
from my
bro?
point of view.
I don't know. All I
Doesn't
know is that
sound
she
like
said,
it's
"I don't
good.
know where it went," and then
Oh,
the guns
wow.
got me.
Oh, I'm super fast. Oh, cool. Did you find it?
No. I'm gonna.
It was downstairs, and then I literally looked everywhere.
Maybe it
Unless
was
it was
a fake
I don't
item.
know.
No, I see it. I see where she threw it.
Oh, you did? Oh, jeez, what?
Yeah, I got it.
It was super miasmy. You got it?
Got it.
Okay, my bad, guys.
It's all
Gabs
good.
wouldn't have died.
Yep.
Yo, from this angle, it looks like the thing's blowing me.
What the fuck?
Really? Oh yeah.
It sure does.
Getting
Yeah.
freaky. On fire too. I
I'm
wonder if
gonna
we have
need this
SP
shadow.
points or whatever.
Getting in the groove. Play a game on hard. We did it on hard, guys.
Let's see.
Well, thanks, Rain.
I tried my best. I didn't.
I know.
Kill you.
I like barely explored that map at all. I kept getting diddled in like the first 2 rooms. I was like, what the fuck? Yeah, I don't
You can
want
do it again.
I don't want that lantern anymore. I want a
You don't
flashlight.
like it?
I think
Oh, okay.
it's like it is more light, but the fact that you have
Wait
to
a
charge
minute.
it is so stupid.
Look, guys, look. It's the guy she tells you not to worry about versus you.
What is it?
The doll sizes.
Oh yeah.
Give me the
Wait,
flashlight. Oh my god, stuck.
17.
Oh.
Stuck. The flashlight's
7.
stuck. Maybe if I get another one.
Chameleon.
Oh,
Oh, Rain, look. You got the chameleon is what got you. That's creepy
Oh
looking
yeah. That it was
There you
crazy
go.
because I did see it and
And
it
it
no.
still got me. I don't even know.
thing. I stood next to it because I'm trying to get it to go to me, but it went to you.
Yeah. It's like, I know who I want.
I want the
Yeah.
female, please. Thank you. It's very
Rose
straight.
Predator.
I was a predator. I'm gonna be right back, guys. I'm gonna go get an energy drink because I'm tired. I'll be right back.
Bet.
Okay.
Okay.
Let's do Yaku Estate again. Then after that, we'll do St. Lawrence, the hospital.
Okay.
So, Gab, how was it in Diddy's Japanese house?
Man, fuck that shadow.
Yeah, the freaking what's that fucker?
What's the fucker?
That
There's a
that
shadow,
one.
there he is.
Yeah, he kept fucking
Yeah.
diddling me.
Yeah, because you just be. This is Christy in a dark room.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. She stands in the center, doesn't hide, and she's like, and then she gets killed.
Well,
She's like,
I-
how
well,
did
she's
it
like-
get me?
She's like
can't
looking
sleep.
for stuff, but it's she don't turn the lights on.
I
So
couldn't
he
see.
literally, I was dead watching her. And he kept just being like this right on her, like, hey.
Hey,
I just want to take some
You
pictures.
want to drink?
Christy's just like,
Wait, what happened?
I don't
I
see
couldn't
that.
see shit.
I don't see that.
That's why
dude.
I don't
Wait.
want the freaking lantern anymore. Because I couldn't see shit. Because my freaking lantern kept dying.
Are you blaming?
I just think it's
the
funny that
gaming
Gab
critics?
started to see Christy's gameplay.
Okay, okay, okay. Stop that.
Step to the left, step to the
I'm
right.
trying to
I'll do
throw
it all
it
night.
on there.
Do it all night. Do it all night. It's a Diddy dance.
They're
Do it all
picking
night.
on
It's
me.
the Diddy dance. Step to the left,
Why?
step to
What's
the right.
wrong? What's wrong, baby girl? What happened?
Do it all night.
What happened?
Diddy
They're
dance. Do it
picking
all
on
night. It's the
me.
Diddy dance.
Well, what do they say?
They said I was standing in the middle of the room. Which I probably
You-
was.
You were. No, you were. I told you. I said you had to get out of the middle of the room.
Do it all night.
I was like, Chrissy, why are you standing in the middle of the door? I can
I
see
couldn't
you.
see literally anything.
I know.
I couldn't see.
I can't see.
I can't see. I'm blind.
Step to the left, step to the
Look what I
right.
got,
To the
guys.
left, step to
Look.
the right. Do
You
it
can
all
look
night.
as a
It's the Diddy
screen,
dance. Yep,
but
to the
it's the
left,
new
to the right.
Halloween
All
Sour
night,
Punch
it's
straws.
Diddy dance.
It is.
What?
The flavors are prickly pear. Ooh,
Prickly pear?
midnight mystery, and monster melon.
Monster melon.
Prickly
I hope
pear.
it's not. Yeah, prickly
Oh,
pear
prickly
sounds.
pear sounds good.
Yeah.
What are they?
If it's
I'm
they're
gonna prick for
the
you.
fragrance straw sour patch.
Sour
Oh, it's
Patch.
Nice.
cantaloupe.
I love Sour
Yeah.
Patch.
I know.
I'm gonna try to get Chrissy to try an actual prickly pear, but she doesn't want to try it.
They're so good.
Yeah, they're really good.
I thought I tried it before.
Monster melons.
No, I offered it to you, and
Alright.
you're like, I'm good.
Is this like? Can you guys even see
that's
this?
what that
Oh,
means. Ghosts
Well, I tried the
aggression.
prickly pear drink at
Mm.
Whataburger.
Oh wow.
this is
Yeah.
great.
Oh, so sour.
So sour.
So sour.
Oh my god, it's sour.
Ooh.
That was funny.
Are we ready?
All right, y'all ready? Yep, ready to go.
Yeah. Yeah.
Let's go. Lego.
Come on.
Sorry, I'm excited. I love
You said you were gonna open it.
They were real sour though.
What else do we need? Oh yeah, the 17.
Ugh.
There.
Actually, I think that one person was this one that we were with the wet feet.
Yes.
With the
Yes,
wet.
that's.
Yeah, her feet
that
were
might
like
be in it,
fucking
yeah.
wet. Oh yeah, that makes sense. The
Yeah.
ground. Her feet were wet as fuck.
Oh, it was her?
Lego.
Yeah, I think it was her
Mm.
with the wet feet.
Dude, I wish you put that in my mouth.
What?
Dude,
What?
what do you mean, ew? Yeah,
What the
you're
heck?
Swamp feet.
Dude, I would suck them toes.
What?
Look, all I'm saying is Diddy should be free. That's all I'm saying.
What? What'd you say? Diddy shouldn't what?
Ew, it tastes like ass.
So,
Oh, asshole.
Okay, I'm grabbing a
Oh,
flashlight.
God, it tastes
Fuck
like
the
perfume.
lantern.
Wow.
okay, fuck.
Lantern
Oh,
hate will not be
man. I
tolerated.
take
I'm also
this
gonna
and
grab a
this.
doll.
Lantern,
'Cause
Lantern
I-
hate will not be tolerated.
I did a lot.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah.
That's
know.
lovely.
It's okay.
Oh, I just dropped my fucking flashlight. Fuck me, dude. Can you help me out? Press the right.
You
Oh, there it
find
is.
it?
Oh, there.
Oh, okay.
There it is. Yeah. There we go.
Oh, no. Oh, I am.
She's a level 4 aggression already.
Oh,
Whatever the fuck it is.
Heck?
Yeah, we're playing on hard, so I'm gonna come back with the.
I appreciate it. What's wrong with the light?
Uh oh. Oh, the breaker.
Ring my bell.
Ooh, guys. I'm gonna be so fucking fast, bro. Alright.
Oh, I found
I
one.
found something. You found one?
Oh, yeah, I don't have any slots, though. Okay, let me drop my doll real quick.
There's a doll in here. I'm gonna wait, so in case someone dies.
Oh, I see it. Yeah.
Oh, what the fuck are you? Ew. Ew, 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 ew. That was gross.
Where's the room?
It's down
Oh,
here,
down
go to
here,
your
baby.
right.
Yeah, follow Rain. She'll tell you.
Oh, there's
Right
another
there.
baby.
See the blood trail?
Here.
You get, yeah, we'll save those babies for when you guys die.
For when you die.
I know, just joking.
The blood trail. Am I blind?
Down here.
yes.
Blue is not good. That means it's a hunt.
Hey, it's a fucking lengthy man. It's the
Hide! He's banging! Hide!
I knew it.
Rose.
Okay.
I got you.
Yeah.
Oh god, it's so nasty.
Oh, I got by the freaking lengthy guy.
No.
What the hell was banging that noise?
It's the ghost. Don't worry, I got whoever died. Christy.
I heard him banging. Whenever he bangs, you gotta run.
Really?
Oh,
you.
she's dead.
Fuck
She's
you,
dead.
he's
She's
behind
dead.
me,
She's
George.
dead.
Over here, Gab,
George
over here,
is
Gab, over
behind
here.
me.
Over here, over here, over here. Turn your flashlight off. Come over here.
Oh god.
Now tell your secret stories. Tell your deepest secrets.
I'm sponsored by Diddy parties.
Well, they're in the closet. They gotta tell their
Why
deepest,
Diddy?
darkest secrets in the closet.
Oh yeah,
I
yeah,
think we're
yeah.
good.
You're brave.
Yeah, come on. Oh no!
I don't
No,
like
no,
that,
no.
man. That scares
I
me.
ain't afraid.
Did he
I'm
confuse
not
you, the
afraid.
lengthy guy?
Yeah, the lengthy
We're
guy.
good, we're good.
Oh god.
Oh my god, nope.
I'm sorry.
I am sorry.
I
Forgive
saw
me.
him. He saw him.
I have made a mistake. Good day.
What the fuck is this flavor?
That was fucking
Oof.
terrifying.
Wolf is really mad. Hey, wait, come back.
Oh, we're good, Gab. We're good. It's open.
I'm
Come
using
on.
my grimoire.
Oh.
What is this?
Get me out!
Wait,
Is Christy and Rain both
There's
dead?
a pumpkin right here. Hey, there's a
Hmm.
pumpkin right there.
I don't see a
Inside.
pumpkin.
Oh, there is.
Oh,
Yeah,
there
but
is?
I did with
Okay,
my grimoire.
I'll go. Hold on. I'm gonna recharge my lamp, my little lantern.
Okay.
And then I'll go in there with you.
Let's
Alright,
wait
let's
for him
go.
to calm down a little bit, you know?
Nah, he's a
Long, long
pussy.
man.
I'm
Yeah,
afraid
Paul.
of him.
He's a long.
Oh, What? No?
He just went down the hall.
Ew. Why does he run like? Ew. Why does he run like that?
Okay. Do you see the pumpkin?
I'm a god now.
They need to get the dolls. They get the dolls.
Hey, I found it.
I had a cursed item.
Flat
on
soda.
Boy.
No, Masamune, flat soda's sad. Why do you have flat soda?
It's him.
Oh, hey you guys are.
Oh.
Oh,
God.
what's good, gang?
It is dark as fuck.
Hide.
I'm hiding. Kind of.
Yes. Shh. He's here. Yes. Whenever you hear the banging, he's about to fucking.
Oh, drop
Hide.
it.
Yeah. He starts banging.
I can't see.
I don't even know if this item is.
Chrissy, you're alive. Oh, he's really.
This item is still cursed. Okay.
Bro, he's really mad. Oh, he's so mad right now. He's so mad right now.
No, the only flat soda I can really drink, and this is like rare. I don't like flat soda.
Yeah, he's fucking mad.
Is Sprite, I think, and Fanta. I actually don't really drink a lot of soda. Do you like flat soda?
God.
He's gonna get you.
Help. Help.
To the left.
Help.
Oh, is he?
Help.
What?
Help.
Is he fine? Oh my
He
god,
was.
okay, he's
He
gone.
was
Help.
trying to get
Help.
Chrissy. He was
Help.
trying to get
Wait, is
Chrissy.
Chrissy dead?
No, she came out. She came out of the room.
Oh, Chrissy, you alive?
Yeah, I'm alive.
Take your story. Okay.
Okay, now I can finally fucking.
We have one dog. Oh, guys, there's a.
No.
Oh, God.
No. Shot. Thank God. This ghost is fun. This game is fun. I like it.
Oh, it's a doppelganger. She's running
Oh
towards
no.
you. She's coming
Secret
towards
stories.
Oh, the breaker.
Tell your deepest secret.
The breaker.
Oh, good luck, guys. Good luck, everybody else.
Tell your deepest secret. Secret stories.
Oh, that's a mimic.
Tell your deepest
Hey, what's up,
secret.
Mimic? Hey, what's up, Mimic? There's a mimic,
Oh
guys.
my god.
Oh,
Babe, get over here.
he's crying too.
Where are you?
Dude,
We need to go back.
listen. Listen to me. It's like a level 9 mad, dude. It's
Nah.
level 9 mad.
Just a normal Tuesday. Relax. We got this.
All right.
We need to go in there and
Wait,
save
let me
Christy.
look.
Christy.
Hello? Oh god.
Very mad.
That's a mimic.
Hey, upstairs. Look, where I'm pointing. Right there. Upstairs.
Right there is a cursed item.
Bet.
You coming?
Well, I need to.
Bye.
Hold on. I'm gonna go over here. Really?
I'm not scared.
Okay.
Nah. Oh,
Oh, she died.
Is it just
I
I
George
fucking ran
left?
right into the room with the fucking mannequin, dude.
Dude, I'm
You
so
become a pussy?
screwed.
I ain't afraid of you banging.
Hard is
Dude,
kind
I'm
of
afraid of
hard,
banging.
low-key.
I'm scared.
The banging means
I hear
it's
a
about to
mimic over
hunt,
there.
and
It's
it's
gonna
like
be fun.
non-stop.
Yeah,
My
this
grandma
guy's
tells
like,
me
I'm
it's
just
a
saving the
level
day.
9 mad.
he's like extra pissed. Honestly, George should wait until the mannequin's gone. Because it's just gonna hunt him
That's
the
not
entire
Gab.
time.
Oh.
No, it's not me. It's the
He's
doppelganger.
gonna get diddled. He's gonna get diddled.
He's got the voodoo doll. I don't know what that does.
Yeah, he's good.
Nope.
Yep, get fucked.
That thing
I'm
is
gonna
so
die.
crazy.
That screaming is fucking horrifying. Fuck that. I'm out. Yo, fucking Gab screaming is fucking terrifying as a mimic.
That as a mimic is so funny, actually. Oh my.
Nope. 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 Nope.
Wait, is that my stream?
Insane.
Nope. 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 Nope.
No, I think
Wait,
it was
who's
Gab.
saying, oh my god.
That's
I'm gonna
so
die, but
funny.
you
Yo,
know.
that's
Wait a
insane.
minute. I have this.
That was
Wait, my
actually
ability up.
crazy.
Mhm.
Hearing
Yeah, it is.
myself in there.
Smoking that ganja. All right, let's go.
Oh my god.
What?
Hey, you know what? Speaking of. Hey, babe.
Can y'all stop having sex, please? I appreciate it.
It's me and Christy. We're
Oh.
banging.
Bro does
Every
not
day,
like
baby.
having company.
He's an
Yeah.
introvert.
I'm waiting for my ability to come back.
I
Unless
can
it's
relate.
back, I'll go in there. Oh, I gotta hurry though. We're running out of power.
The hard mode is actually low-key hard.
Is that hard?
All right, give me a second.
Yeah.
Almost there. Almost there. My ultimate is charging.
At least I survived longer than last time.
This
Last
cunt.
minute, I'm scared. It's so scary.
Genuine cunt.
She says, "Baby, bang me on the table like your pinky toe."
What the heck?
Paul's got one-liners tonight. He's got them dad jokes. Do you think George is gonna die? He needs to find a doll.
Yeah.
I think there was
Might.
one in the.
Wait.
Oh, I'm fucked.
Oh, I'm fucked.
Oh shit.
You can.
What is that?
I'll stay right here. I apologize.
Apologize. I am very sorry.
You know what?
Did that help at all?
mean,
Imagine
I'm
being.
not a pussy. That's what I thought.
He's cooked.
Oh fuck.
Yeah, as he goes back in the closet.
Okay, I'm kind of a pussy. I'm kind of a pussy.
He's cooked.
He's
I'm
so
gonna be for
screwed.
real.
There's a doll like straight ahead. But I think
Yeah, it's in one of the
upstairs.
rooms.
I thought he was gonna close that shit on me. I need a bell. Fuck.
I
I
think
don't have a bell. I don't think we can do this.
on this one.
I
Yeah,
can see
this
the
one's
miasma
really
from out the
hard.
fucking room. Get the fuck out of here.
It's so bad.
Oh,
Bye, everybody.
bye everybody.
Wow. GG's, guys. Be dead forever.
Man,
Oh
fuck
my
this.
god.
I can't ride to run away. What the fuck?
I have to die.
Yeah.
I die, don't
Yeah,
I?
you have to die, I guess.
Oh.
Yeah.
Nah,
what the-
he can leave.
Uh-oh.
What?
Uh oh.
Uh-oh.
What'd he do?
I'm fucked. She's
What?
following me out here.
Wait, what?
No, she's not. Is she?
Oh, that's scary.
Yeah. Wait, what? I didn't see anything.
One of the
July.
ghosts can follow
That is
you
fucking
outside.
creepy. I
though.
can see
I
that
read
bitch.
that.
Really? I didn't see anything.
Oh, doll. Oh god, why is it me? Babe, where'd you go?
I have no idea.
You just left me.
We're good, we're good.
We're good. We're good. We're good. We're good.
You left me in the miasma. With nothing. Oh god. Babe. No shot. He just actually leaves me in the miasma.
Right here.
I'm right here, baby. I'm right here.
Where?
Starting up.
I'm turning up in my asthma right now.
Fucking Sparky scared the
Sparky
shit
scared
out of
the
me.
shit out of me. Oh, I'm out of light, so
Yeah,
That's
I
lovely.
don't have anything.
my ability's gonna recharge in a couple of seconds. We're gonna die. There we go.
Do you see any of my stuff on the floor? Oh god. What the fucking crying bitch?
Just fucking kill me.
kill me.
Ugly bitch.
Ugly bitch.
Ah! Fuck.
I heard that IRL.
Did y'all not see that lady like floating in the corner of every room I walked
I
into? That's
literally
fucking-
can't see anything. I can't see where my freaking items are. Please just kill me. Put me out of my misery.
Yeah, but clip that. Okay, that was so fucking scary.
Kill me, lady. Kill me.
She's done,
Oh.
dude.
Yeah, she's dead.
I couldn't see shit.
Yeah, it's so dark in
Yeah.
there.
It's hard.
It's very
What
hard.
the hell?
I'm like, just put me out of my misery.
We got diddled. That's okay.
Okay, we got diddled.
They still get
That was
XP.
hard.
That was really hard, yeah. Nice some more stuff. Can I unlock the monkey yet? No, I can't.
I can get it. Here, I'll get it.
Oh shit.
I have it. Yeah. I can get the monkey if you want it. Oops.
Bet.
Did I
How many do you want?
skill tree?
This one.
Okay.
No, I didn't.
Wait. There's a monkey. Okay, good.
It's a monkey.
Curious George.
I can get.
I'm gonna get the 2 dolls for us. That way we have those.
What's 17? Oh, guys, look at that. We have a breaker fuse.
Breaker fuse.
Oh,
Yeah,
the 17th.
so-
Yeah.
Grab one of those.
Buy 2 of those, Rain.
Okay, yeah, I can get 2.
Okay.
There we go.
Yeah, we need. Because I noticed when I put the first breaker in, it needed 2, so that'd be nice to have.
Oh, did
2.
it?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. Oh, look, they have a gaming setup here. That's sick.
I'm gonna see.
He's drunk. He's had too much. So, guys, I would say the Sour Punch straws. The green is great. The purple's good. The orange is dead. Well, for me, it's disgusting, but it's cantaloupe. Do you like cantaloupe?
Oh, not really.
Yeah, that's right. I only like
was a good flavored.
artificial flavor. It's ass,
Yeah.
dude.
That sounds
yeah,
gross.
Delicious.
It is gross. I thought it would be like, I don't know. Honeydew would be a great flavor. I like honeydew.
Yeah, honeydew's good.
I feel like fake watermelon. I can't do
Yeah.
that either.
Fake watermelon, fake banana.
Well,
I can't do those.
I hate fake banana. Fake watermelon's okay sometimes, like the Jolly Rancher one. That's good.
Reminds me of medicine.
I like fake cherry.
Fake cherry.
Oh yeah,
good.
fake cherry is good.
So is fake
love,
blue
thanks for the
raspberry.
raid, bud.
Hey,
Real melons
the
only.
raid.
Masamune
Wow,
is
look at
a
us.
Masamune
What
knows
are
me.
those?
Real melons only. Big ones too. We love big melons here.
Hermione.
Oh yeah.
Hey, Clive.
Oh, yay.
How's it going, dude?
Yeah, you got a ton of shit.
What's up?
You got a fucking monkey. We're good to go.
Monkey. I like the monkey. The monkey adds like the good vibes.
Yeah,
Ooh,
Ready to be spooped on.
that is wild.
Use the
Thing. You
ooh.
can't say that.
You can't say that. We're gonna go through some PR training, guys.
First rule of PR training. All right, let's go. Put all my items in the trunk.
I like the green ones though. They're fire. Prickly pear.
Bet. We're going.
Let's
I
go.
can do that. That looks
There
like
you
I'm jerking off 2 people.
There you go.
I hope we get diddled like Diddy again. That'd be so funny.
I don't.
I'm gonna take this. I'm gonna put
Oh,
the
I
circuit
don't want
breakers in.
the piece of paper. I want a flashlight.
Second, guys.
Oh, you found one already?
I got the.
Oh, I found one already.
Wow, they're
Circuit
burning.
breaker has
Has 2 circuit breakers in it now, so we're good for right now.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome.
I forgot where the fucking room is. Oh, is it where the miasma is?
I'm coming.
Miasma bell. I got the bell.
Oh, guys, it's this hat that's slightly Oh, lady! Oh!
Nope.
Wow.
What just happened?
What just happened?
There is a lady.
Oh.
Edna.
Oh shit.
Is she gone?
Maybe. Asking for a friend.
For a friend.
Oh, okay. Well, that works. At least she teleported me like right where I need to go, but please don't get me.
Track's done.
Please don't get me. I don't wanna get got.
Oh, it's the wet person. Alright, I got it. Oh fuck.
I'm gonna put this over here. That way. Oh.
Oi.
Rain's dead.
Rain's dead.
Whoa, I'm not dead.
Oh.
I help you.
Thank you. There was I got handed.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
can only be
I got-
free.
Hi,
for that.
Spooky.
Yeah, I got manhandled. Ooh. Where's that ghost?
That's not good.
Is anyone dead? There's a baby here.
Yeah, is anyone
I'm
dead?
alive.
Christy?
Oh, Christy's alive.
Christy, I didn't assume. I just heard everybody but you.
Oh. Oh.
That sounds bad.
God damn it.
Christy's fucking dead.
That's crazy.
I'm the baby, right?
Yeah, I'm going to get it right now.
All right.
Sit.
Good.
So,
Wait, I don't have light.
Oh, it's the baby. It's in the bathroom. What the fuck is that? Oh my god.
Nice.
Oh my god.
Wait, why
what
is
the
she
fuck,
twerking?
man?
What's
bro.
up?
Oh, here's a baby in the bathtub. Oh, you found
Yeah, I
the
got
baby.
it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Also, there's
That's
a
you.
thing on the floor. That was kind of creepy.
Oh. Nice.
My sanity.
Your sanity's not good? Ah, there she goes again.
Collect
Earned
all
it.
the dolls. Oh, I was collecting dolls, not the baby. I'm so sorry, Christy.
Wow. Already? Yeah, I found it.
Doll in here. I'm dead. Like I don't know what I was supposed to do in that situation.
A freaking mimic
It's
got
okay,
me.
Paul. Me too. You should get your grip.
Oh, you
Ah!
Oh, the
I can't get-
mannequin.
Fuck.
fucking mannequin bitch. Oh, hi.
Oh, is Gap dead?
Alright.
What are,
No? I think she's
there's
still
no
good.
cursed item in here.
Oh.
Oh, wait, where's it going?
You might want to look
Okay.
at her.
You was really gonna let that get me? You was really gonna let that
Yeah.
get me? You fucking son of a bitch. I was trying to hold the dog.
Oh.
What is that flavor?
I have a cursed item in my hand.
I'm not gonna
Can't
lie, it
use it.
tastes like an
No,
alcoholic
lovely.
beverage.
Hold on,
Oh,
I'm gonna.
like what?
I'm watching
I don't
her.
know, like it's really sour, like more sour than normal. So I would assume it has some type of like lime to it. The purple is deceiving. It's not grape or anything.
Oh.
Oh, no.
Mm-mm.
Oh, there's a doll.
You better run.
There's a doll.
Come on. You fucking bitch.
Oh, there's a doll right there.
Get it, get it, get it. He probably doesn't see it, Chrissy.
Yeah. It's like right
Uh-oh.
there.
I mean, it's not running after him anymore.
My fucking thing.
Get the doll.
The hoarder stole my fucking magnifying glass.
Sit.
Oh, hi.
Oh, hi. Oh,
Oh,
bitch.
no.
It's so ugly.
He
That's what I thought.
he came up and stole it. That's crazy.
That's funny.
Yeah, I don't know.
There it is. Oh,
Oh,
yay.
there's right above my head. There's a cursed item. It's right here.
Oh, God.
It's right above me. Nice.
I'm alive.
Oh, watch out.
Yeah, there's like
She's-
miasma in there.
I'm trying.
Yeah,
I'm
my
getting it.
asthma.
Miasma.
Someone's crying.
It's over there, dude.
Shut the fuck up.
Trying to get Rain back by looking for the baby.
I'm gonna go try and get the cursed object. I don't know how.
What are the fucking odds, dude?
What the fuck?
That was crazy.
I'm going to get it right now.
Oh, are you dead, Christy?
Oh wait, it's over here.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh!
fucking mimic, bro.
I have a cursed object.
Oh, what's up, crying bitch? Oh my god.
I have
You
a cursed object.
Let me see.
Yes.
Hit G. You can pick it up.
I can't.
Oh,
That's a fake.
Oh. Oh.
Well,
Well.
okay.
Welcome. Welcome to the death
I
club.
What
got
the hell?
fucked up.
What
All right.
the heck was that?
Apparently it was fake. I don't know how. I don't know how to tell.
All right. I don't know what that does.
Yeah,
but
it just disintegrated from your hand.
That's so crazy.
Oh.
The item is a little sus.
Oh my fucking god! I popped that on accident.
So
Look at him
Gab,
fat fingering. Yeah.
that fake artifact
May she
thing,
rest
it
in
jumps
peace.
in your hand
She
when you
was good
have
as in
it,
life,
so that's
she
how
is
you can
in
tell
death.
it's fake.
Oh.
Wait, it jumps like when you look
There.
at it for a while, it'll start hopping.
So. I'll put
Oh,
that-
This
okay.
sus in it. Yeah, Paul, it's super sussy. Ooh, ooh.
Yeah.
Right.
Aw,
It's a little
man.
bit phallic in shape.
What does that monkey even do?
It distracts the ghost. But he can't hear me.
Yeah.
But if you could,
You have to wind it up.
no, I think it should, yeah, maybe. Like, it should make the,
Oh, there's another
The-
call there.
Oh,
hey, George,
What's up?
what's up?
where are you? The monkey, if you turn it on or whatever, it distracts the ghost.
Oh, cool.
Oh, cool.
I'm also very lost.
Oh, come here. Okay, yeah, there you go. You're good.
Oof.
I'm gonna try and look for the
There we
other
go.
keeps, or the other babies. So
Ooh. I
I
will.
just went
that way I can get Christy and
upstairs.
Gab back. So.
Yeah, there's
Relax.
one
Me too.
right there.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Bet.
Yeah, there was one.
Yes,
down
yes,
there.
yeah.
Oh,
There it is.
there.
Mike?
There is a mannequin, guys.
Nice.
Fucking.
Ooh,
Did she come outside?
No, I'm just keeping her at the door. Oh, she's
Oh.
gone.
She's gone.
Nice. Oh,
Maybe. Is
Oh.
Christy back?
Yeah,
Welcome
I gotta
back,
find
baby
my
girl.
stuff. Are you shitting me?
Damn. This is
Shut up, Christy, shut up. Christy, crouch, crouch.
Oh, it's gone.
Okay. Oh my
Fucking
god.
monkey.
monkey.
No, not that.
Did the monkey work?
It worked.
It worked, yeah, but it walked right to me and fucking scared me.
Uh-oh.
Oh, jack-o'-lantern.
I hear a thing crying.
Me too.
Here we go. We'll go in here.
Give it to me. I can use it.
Use it.
Is there, are these toilet
No, I
paper?
need
Okay, I need my power to be charged. Give me a
Mm.
second.
'Cause I can burn
I can burn it in my hand for my special ability instead of just using my other one.
It was.
I'll be right back.
Okay, baby, you okay?
Yeah.
Oh, Rain's dead.
Fuck you, bitch. You're an ugly bitch.
Wow, you scared it away, Gab. Are you happy with yourself?
Yes.
I'm burning it. Yeah, it was.
Yay.
Nice. Okay, I don't know.
I don't see anything else. And the ghost is not upset.
Oh, we gotta get Rain back. Oh wait, you have this? Nice. I don't have another I don't have another magnifying glass. That's the issue.
I have one. We gotta
Okay.
work as a team.
Okay.
I don't
Let's get
have
Rain.
a.
Come on.
Did you see that?
Oh, that was creepy.
Okay.
Gas and the king. All right, let's go check the left
I'm
side. I
gonna-
think Rain's baby's. Can you see the baby at all or no?
Yeah, I was gonna come inside and pop my grimoire.
Okay, go for it. Go in here.
I literally don't see anything.
Oh, she's
Oh,
right here.
she's on the steps.
I need a bell because it. Yeah, she's doing the. My ass, Maggie. All right, ready?
Yep.
Ooh. Nice, clear it up. Turn this off.
I found it. I found a cursed item.
Nice. Go toss it on the thing. I'm gonna look at the baby. It looks light. Nice.
Oh wow, that's me right there.
Good shit. Stomach okay, baby?
Yeah.
So we get for having Taco Bell.
How come I didn't get more fucking red points? Damn it.
Wow, wowie, wow.
No, I
Did
just
I
felt
get
like
any-
super sick all of a sudden. I thought I was gonna puke.
Oh my
Ew.
god.
Yeah.
Are you
Get
okay?
Taco Bell.
Oh, Taco Bell.
No,
No.
my freaking stomach has been hurting for like the last 2 days.
You got diarrhea?
I did.
Probably.
Wait, how
I
do we
don't
get
think Taco Bell
SP?
helps, though.
Do you guys know how we get SP? Oh, level
Yeah,
up.
it's like it's rewarded through successful missions. But the higher you climb on the skill tree, the more it requires.
Yeah, I haven't gotten a single SP point.
Let's do St. Lawrence.
I got some
Yeah, sure.
Tums though, so hopefully I feel better.
I'm sorry, dude.
Yeah. Oh, I rub your belly.
Oh.
Waiting on Gab.
You look so cute. Oh, my little skeleton.
Oh. Thanks.
Oh.
baby girl.
What are you guys doing?
Watching some porn.
Oh, fuck yeah. Oh, wow.
Oh wow.
Oh, I think this isn't this shows you like what to do, like how to play the game.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think this
is new though. I've never seen this before.
Yeah, I don't remember this either. Ah, yes, that fucker.
Ugh. That Tums was like so chalky.
The power of Christ. Oh,
Do we need any items?
Oh, I'll get the.
do you guys want?
shit.
Zoom
I
tight.
don't know how to use the
you.
monkey, so I'm unsure.
So I figured out how to use it. You have to be inside and wind it like 3 times by holding left click, and then you let go, and your character lets it walk on the ground, so it walks on its own.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
that's
you gotta
actually
be inside
really
though.
nice.
Yeah,
It was nice.
it was nice until the fucking monkey walked towards me, and the ghost was coming at me. So that
Yeah,
was great.
almost kind of feels like I did it on purpose. Do we want one though,
Yeah.
or no?
Monkey's racist.
Yeah, you can
Yeah, you can get it.
Okay, I'll grab one monkey, and then I'll grab. Do you want? I'll just do one fuse.
Okay.
It's stuck again, I guess.
There you go.
Thank you. Thank you for hitting it, because that helps a
welcome.
lot. Oh, is it almost full? Remember that one time we put all the flashlights, just all flashlights?
Yeah, all flashlight.
It was all flashlights.
All flashlight run.
You never know, though. You never know.
Okay. All right.
Ready, guys?
Ready, guys?
Yeah.
I've reading the lore.
Yeah, I was reading. Sorry.
The lore. No, you're good. The lore.
The Lord.
All McDonald's.
You always want McDonald's. But you
That's
don't
not
actually
true, guys.
want McDonald's.
That's
I
not
had,
true.
I had Carl's the other day with ass.
That's not true.
Carl's Jr.
Mm-hmm.
Carl's Jr.
Normally I
is
like it, but they
ass.
had a pickle burger, and they like put like fried pickles on it. Oh, I'm sorry. It's my. You right?
Carl's Jr. is so bad.
My game crashed.
Oh,
No, it didn't.
Hello.
are you there?
Carl-
Hey, whoa.
hey, whoa.
Jr.
Carl-
Class
Donald.
Are you getting McDonald's?
Carl's Jr. is so ass.
It's not.
Carl
Oh.
Jr.'s high class McDonald's, okay?
Arguably, I like their fries way more. Wait, did I not grab a flashlight?
Wow, there's a lot of my ass.
Press F.
Oh yeah. No, I did, and then it wouldn't work for some reason. It's odd.
Maintain.
Is that who's mouth breathing?
I hear it
It's
too.
a level 5 mat.
Is it? Are you mouth breathing?
Well, the ghost is a bitch.
Oh my god, scan.
It's because me and you were both trying to do it at the same time.
Oh. I was like, why isn't it working?
This game hates me. Your dog is scaring the fuck out of me, dude.
I swear to God, that dog's scary.
Gaz has a personal vendetta against your dog.
Leave Sparky alone.
Sparky also killed Christy once.
Cleared it out. That's pretty cool.
I remember. Pepper Ridge Farms remembers.
Pepperidge Farms.
Yeah. Have you guys never seen that commercial? What the heck?
I've seen the Family Guy on Reddit.
Yeah. Let's see here. A book. What the?
I'm gonna clear up the miasma as best I can.
Books are good for you guys. You guys should always.
Something like as simple as like a comic book
Ew. Gross.
It's the Diddy Nights.
Ew, someone blew up the bathroom in here. Nasty.
Sorry.
That was funny as fuck. Just like, sorry. Oh,
Wait, what's
nice.
outside?
That's mine,
Straight
girl.
into the right. Door's right there.
I think that's all in here. Yeah, I don't see anything else. This room's cleared.
Oh, there's a dog.
Oh no.
Good shit, yeah. You drank it.
Dude, who is like drinking a lot of water?
Already checked in there.
That's not good.
I mean, it's a mini ghost, you guys.
Shut up.
Yeah, she's
Like
a
that-
bitch.
Been upstairs.
Apparently my
My
uncle,
uncle, when he was a kid, he drank like half a gallon of gas and like
was
was very sick for a while. But he was alright.
Oh my God.
Uncle is.
Why would he do that?
I used to.
Oh, the dog is really upset.
Did I flick off the light switch?
Oh,
my.
is that the breaker? Oh no.
Yeah, I accidentally. I thought it was off. So I flicked
You
it.
gotta find the break.
Assume the thing's down here.
I have it, guys. I'm the one who did it.
Oh,
There we
oh
go.
wait, that. Oh no, wait, I don't want that. Oh
The
god.
breaker. Oh, there it is. I see it. Boric acid's kind
Bro,
of
I
funny.
need light though. That's a
Mm.
yeah. Wait.
Oh,
What do flashlights do?
Oh, hi.
oh, hi.
Oh shit.
Stay behind me.
Stay behind me.
Yeah, run.
Run.
Yeah, run.
Yeah, run.
Well, Gab's
Well,
dead.
Gab's dead.
Gab's
I'm
dead.
not
Gab's dead.
No, Gab
No,
is dead.
Gab is dead.
Oh, she was here too?
Yeah, I told Gab to run, but she just sat there and stood and stared at it.
Stared at it. That's funny.
It's
I found one.
No, there's a doll somewhere.
Oh, you're good.
Where's the circle?
Downstairs.
Downstairs in the basement.
Down here, Lee.
Okay.
In the Diddy dungeon.
Diddy dungeon.
In the Diddy dungeon.
My favorite dungeon.
The-
Just joking.
Here? Oh yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
That big room.
Oh, okay, I didn't throw it far enough.
That all.
There we go.
Oh, this thing
Gab's
is moving the
somewhere.
chair.
I'll
That's
look for it.
creepy.
What? Oh, that was you. You scared the fuck out of me.
What's good? What's geeking?
Gigging.
Oh, hi.
Protect me. Okay. I said protect me.
I was legit actually joking about the whole dungeon thing.
I literally said,
Welcome.
I don't know if
protect
people
me.
took
He
that
didn't
seriously or
protect
not.
me.
Sometimes I just say things without
Welcome
thinking
to
about
the
it.
dark side.
Hey, Rain.
Yep.
Christy's dead.
What?
So.
Oh. Well,
Look for the,
Yeah,
gotta
I
find a new
said
wife.
I said protect me, and he didn't protect me.
Oh yes, I forgot I have these. It's
front of me. Okay. Gets mad at me. You didn't protect me.
Yeah, you didn't.
Put my shield out in front, and she's like, "I'm gonna stand in front of it." Oh, okay. Oh, just gave me the fucking helmet. I don't know. I don't know the locations of the respawn babies on this one.
What in the actual fuck was
Wow.
that?
That was a 10 out of 10 scream.
What
Oh,
the fuck was that?
too easy. Thank you for the 14 months.
That was like that didn't
10
even
months in a
sound like a
row, bro.
scary scream. That sounded like a
Amazing.
constipated
Thank you so much.
scream. Like me on the toilet earlier. Just kidding.
Oh. You know how that ghost was just running? That's you to the toilet.
That was disgusting and scary all at the same time. Okay.
Oh god, that was funny as fuck.
Oh shit.
How are you? Thank you so much for the I appreciate it.
How was it?
Hey, Rain. It's not up there.
I'm playing Project Unknown with a couple buds.
Where the fuck is the? Oh, of course.
It's so far away.
Probably in
Look
the
at it.
Raz room.
Oh
I love-
No, it's
Streamlabs is
upstairs.
yelling at my bot.
Oh.
No, it might be here.
George, the baby's
What's it,
upstairs.
Red light, green light.
Oh.
You're a hoe.
There's Christy. The power of Christ compels you.
Oh, I got teleported to the front door.
The power of gay.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see. I don't know what happened. I got like fucking
We
teleported.
pray for the gay.
I'm getting
Pray
rid of
for
this
the
shit.
gays.
Oh. That's not good.
ah, damn
Rain
it.
just died.
I
Oh.
just died.
How'd you die?
R.I.P.
She was doing the fucking
Find the fucking babies.
she was doing the Dougie.
He's so far away from the
Dougie.
baby.
Ooh,
Oh, there's one.
how far are you in that game?
Oh, there.
Is
Wait,
it a lot of fun?
right there.
Oh. Shit.
Oh, there's a baby.
Oh, it's me. Oh shit, it's me. Is this my stuff? Oh. What the fuck? That's odd.
Bitch.
Help! Help! Okay. Where is... There it is. Oh, come on. Sparky, is she gone? Nope. Hello?
I'm here.
I'm here.
Okay. Is it gone?
Yeah.
It's gone.
Okay. Is this not an item? Oh, it's not. Get this out of here. Eh. Let me just turn this off.
Again downstairs. It's probably in one of those.
Hello. Oh, a doll.
Nice.
Oh.
Oh.
Oh God.
Yeah, over here. It's gonna run the other way. Yep. Okay. Out of the corner. Oh, hi.
What's up, bitch?
What's up, bitch? Okay. We gotta start looking for items though. We're running out of time. Need to find another doll though, so we can get whoever else, the other person alive.
Yeah, I just found was it Rain's doll?
I think it was Rain or Gab, maybe.
Yeah.
Gotta find the other one though. The breaker's still on? Yeah, it's still on. Nice.
Oh, nice.
Aren't they up here? Okay. Gotta be. Oh wait. No, it's
My sanity.
not. Oh hi.
Oh God.
See, that was hot.
I think that's everything in here. Yep.
Yeah, I'm coming. Hold on.
Oh, hello?
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 There you are, Gab.
Hello?
Hello?
Chrissy? Hello?
I'm over here.
Where are you, baby girl? I don't have a light.
Oh. Let me see if I can find you.
There, I got it.
Lights are on. Nice.
Where are you? Oh, over here, Chrissy.
I'm over here in the lobby. The lobby area.
I'm alive, but I
Over
don't
here?
have any.
Wait, I got it. It's near the front door, right?
Oh no, the breaker.
Yeah. Follow me. I got you.
Following you.
Oh no, the breaker. Oh, hi, Sparky.
I'll reset it, babe. I'll reset it. There you go, Gab. You're safe.
Oh God.
Upstairs. That's okay. I'm gonna take. No. I need to find more. Oh, Chris is getting hunted right now.
Oh, come on. Why has it gotta be the wet feet in the bathroom? That's disgusting.
Got it.
Sparky, don't drink out of that toilet. That's nasty.
Chrissy, where are you?
Sparky, what are you
Here.
barking at?
Here.
Sparky's
hear you.
barking at something.
Near where Christy was hiding, there's a cursed item.
Nice.
I saw it highlight purple.
I'm over here in the bathroom. Oh, I found something.
There we go.
Christy,
Hi.
hey, do you got a magnifying glass?
Yeah, I do. I
There's
got
a
an item
cursed
here.
item in here.
100.
Yeah, there's. I was gonna say.
Wow.
Yeah.
Are some of them like.
Okay, I come with you.
Okay.
I can't remember where I died.
Yeah, the
To get my
freaking
stuff.
wet feet ghost was in the bathroom. I was like, that's nasty.
Where do we
Oh.
go? This way?
Oh, yeah. Down the stairs more.
Yeah, please. Yeah, please do. I would love to catch your streams.
Oh, God.
Bro. I'm here. She's very wet sounding, right, guys? Like.
Okay, she's done.
Really gross.
Okay.
It's like she's had
I got my grimoire
some
out.
good sex.
Good sex.
There's a cursed
What?
item right above me.
She ran funny like.
Upstairs.
Okay.
Is there any more items
There's-
in here? Oh, yeah,
Yeah,
there's
it's
some.
up. It's right above us over here. Come follow me.
I've seen it.
Christy, come this way, please.
Oh, come in. Oh,
I saw her.
I saw her too. She disappeared.
I'm just gonna keep going. Hey, George. Hey.
Yeah.
I saw. The lady was outside in the hallway.
Oh, nice.
Oh.
I saw the fucking thing. Hold on.
Oh.
Oh, there she is.
Don't get me. I'm pooping in here. Okay.
Good.
I'm like, maybe she won't get me if she thinks I'm shitting.
Someone found something. Gab, was that you?
Yeah, Gab said she found something. And then the ghost
found
came
it.
out.
She died right next to me.
Oh no.
I think that ghost, if you look at her.
Did he find the item?
She
She
just
was.
got-
Oh, yay. Nice.
Diddy.
What? I had the cursed item. Dude. She looks like she's like getting down with it like at like a mosh pit. I need to change that setting.
Do we get more SP? Oh yeah.
We should be.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I got the thing for Sparky that he could carry an item.
Nice.
Did you?
Yeah.
Wait,
Oh, good job.
I didn't
All right,
get
boys.
shit.
Let's go investigate a haunted ship.
Yeah.
Oh fuck. Great.
Your favorite-
Oh fuck.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah. Deep water scares me.
Oh, same.
The ship is docked, so we're good. We're not gonna be in ocean.
Only it's not deep water, it's like dark water that I can't see.
Yeah, that's
If
him.
it's-
Hey, Rain, we should
Yeah.
play Subnautica 2 when it comes out.
Just
That
water.
sounds terrifying.
Yeah, I don't want to play
Wait, is
that.
it
No, I'm
multiplayer?
just kidding. I think the second one's gonna be multiplayer. Yeah.
God, no, I fucking scream. Hang on the walls when
I
you feel
hate
in
it.
danger. That sucks. What about
No, but I'm with you, Rain. I can't do underwater games. Yeah.
It's so
fucking
scary.
Yep.
Oh, perfect.
You like glitching it?
I have a buddy of mine who was in the Navy. He was an underwater welder for like oil rigs. and he told me that
Oh,
he would see like the
Yeah,
most
you
craziest
glitched as
things
heck.
down there.
I have a buddy too, and they said he saw like a giant eyeball, like massive.
And all you have is a diver's knife and a flashlight. So it's like,
Mhm.
oh, well, if he's gonna eat me, I'm dead.
Yeah, he said that a lot of times, like he would get bumped
by sharks and stuff, but they were just more like curious and he was just kind of used to that. But one time he got really nuts and he turned around. There was just like this huge ass eyeball staring at him and he freaked the fuck out. I'm like, bro, I never. He got paid so good though, but after that he said like he could never do it again.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, no. If I see an eye as big as me looking at me, I'm like, yeah, no,
Pull me up.
pull me up.
I don't think it was as big as him, but it was like about his like forearm.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, no,
That's too
no,
big.
that's too big.
That's too big.
That's too big.
Yeah, anything bigger than I would say, yeah,
This is
it's just.
monkey big.
What do you mean? He's average.
A
Giant.
giant. Oh wow. I'm gonna go cry in a corner now.
Yeah, I don't like dark water. Dark water scares me. I don't like if I can't see what's beneath me. I've watched way too many movies.
Bro,
Hi.
Yeah.
you can't even explore the
Ew.
ocean. There's scary shit in there, man.
Yeah, I'm good, man. I'm like real like.
You know, I haven't used my catchphrase in a while. I haven't used my catchphrase in a minute. I'm gonna use it today. Where are all the men?
Like huge and scary and
Do you say where are all the men?
Fucking
Yeah,
docked, dude.
my catchphrase.
Dude, this ain't fucking docked.
Oh, my fault.
Oh, my fault, gang.
you'll be okay.
Fucking, dude.
Yeah, you're fine. You're not gonna. There's no ghost in the water. Okay, just don't look out the little windows.
You
You'll be
don't know
fine.
that.
Ooh,
Could be
I'm
water
fascinated.
ghosts.
Hey, there's a cat
Really
over here.
aggressive water goes.
Hey, there's a
Water
cat over here.
ghosts. It's empty.
That cat's actually good looking.
Hey! better stop
It's
calling my
okay.
baby ugly.
Chrissy, she's only questionable when she like has dingleberries.
I'm gonna go look for the breaker. It looks like it's off.
Oh, I found one.
Okay, this one's really
oh.
weird. It's like down.
It's right here.
Yeah, I hate the lower deck over here.
Oh wow, it is right there.
Yeah, it's in the kitchen.
Yeah,
I thought the ghost was
hunting when he did that. I was like, no.
What does the red? What does red mean?
My bad.
I forgot.
It affects miasma, so some areas can have miasma.
Miasma. Okay, loud ass feet.
This fucker.
Not. Oh, that's what I said. Oh, fuck me, bud.
Oh,
He doesn't like loud noises.
give me that. Thank
Scare him
you.
with loud noises.
Oi, 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 oi.
Yeah, get the fuck away from me. Get the fuck away from me.
That's not cool.
I hate
Oh,
him.
Gab's dead.
Stompy McStomperson. Did these just no?
Don't worry, Gab, I'm gonna get you.
I thought my sneeze was gonna get me killed.
Sparky was
Yeah, dude.
actually helpful. Sparky found a cursed item
Good job.
Good
and
job,
handed
stupid
it
dog.
to me.
Alright, I'm gonna go look for Gab's doll because she died. So.
Okay.
Ray, did you look for the doll here?
No.
Okay, I'll look for it. Oh, jack-o'-lantern.
I hate this game. This game is ass.
Oh, I found a jack-lantern. Oh, nice. Oh, what the fuck?
Really?
Really?
Who died?
Not me. Well, this fucking.
Thank you, Paul.
Are y'all good?
Yeah, I'm good, dude.
Yeah.
Oh, cat.
What the hell was that?
What do you mean?
Oh, found one.
I found one.
Job.
Job.
Okay, so don't just yell at him.
Purple. Doesn't that mean all the items reset? Oh, no, never. Oh, wait. Yeah. Oh, nice. Speed run. Oh, fucking Christ.
Christy is literally.
Thank you, Christy, for your sacrifice.
Dude, Christy is so fucking funny. What are you looking at, man?
Alright, I'm gonna take this. Oh, wait. This.
Was that a fake item? Or did I just get really
Yeah.
unlucky?
What is that?
Rain's about to die. She's not dead already. Oh, that's guys, because I'm scared as fuck. Hunchback Notre Dame looking ass wolf. I'm just kidding. That's Christy.
Okay. He doesn't want to
Her social, her like literal awareness is like
Awareness is like zero. It's crazy.
I was like, Christy. Wait, so can you lead
I'm
me?
going in.
Yeah,
Lead me to the ritual thing.
it's right here.
It's right here.
Oh. Cool.
I'm gonna go and try and find.
I'm gonna go and try and find the
Oh
thing.
hi.
Oh, hi.
Yeah, back up. Yeah,
It's
Gab,
blue.
back up. Gab, I'm go.
Yeah, back
It's
up.
blue.
Gab, back up.
Over here.
Okay.
Over here, over here, over here, over here. got him.
Yeah, Paul.
I'll play Monster Hunter with you. I don't play it a lot, but I will play it.
I'll play with you guys. I just
That's a mimic.
That's a
If
mimic.
you need help and stuff like that, I'll help you with all your shit.
You fucking kidding me?
You fucking kidding me?
The mannequin.
The mannequin?
my
Oh my
fucking
god, you fucking cunt.
Fuck. Fucking damn it. I'm dead again.
Oh, you died?
I'm alive.
I got you back.
Good job, Rain.
Good job, Rain.
You.
Oh, there's
You
another
saved
doll.
me.
Right there, right there,
I
right there.
saved you. Oh,
Yay.
I can't see. What the fuck is that?
Oh god, I don't like
What the
that.
fuck is that?
what the fuck?
Okay, hi.
I don't like that.
Oh, there's my magnifying glass. I don't like that either.
It reminds me of Silent Hill,
Yeah,
guys. I'm
Christmas right
getting
here.
scared.
Thank God.
There's suitcases?
Oh, not the dog.
Oh, I see a cursed item. Oh, shit.
Oh,
Rain, run. Rain.
run.
I just see Rain's
Oh my god.
Okay. What's up? Wow, Rain, I'm not that ugly. Jesus Christ.
Okay, wait. There was a cursed item in here.
Go, go, monkey, go.
Yeah, it's just a casual air raid.
Brother, please stop.
I'm scared. Oh, what's up?
See? He was banging,
Hawaii.
so I ran out here.
Yeah, I'll be right back.
Oh, there it is. There you go, babe.
Oh, thank you, babe.
Oh, you fucking cunt. You're a fucking
Wait, there's
cunt.
a cursed item in here. Watch her.
I'm watching.
I'm watching. Go.
Okay,
You
I'm
go.
gonna get it. I'm gonna
Get
get
it.
it. It's this cactus.
Oh.
It's this fucking cactus. I got it. I got it.
There you go. Get it.
Oh, bitch.
Monkey. Oh.
Uh-oh.
Run.
Hide. The monkey's saving us.
Monkey the goat.
Monkey the goat.
Hey.
Good shit, curious. Good
Oh.
shit, curious.
Oh, Gab's dead.
Oh, never mind.
Oh, never mind.
Curious George.
Sorry, Curious George. Failed us.
Oh, baby scared the shit.
Oh, baby scared the shit out of me.
Sorry.
No, you're good. Oh, asthma.
Oh god, the banging.
There's a suitcase.
There's a suitcase up here.
Oh, nice.
Babe,
Uh,
stay back. Babe, stay back.
What's,
No big
How?
daddy.
He got you.
No big
I know,
daddy. Like that?
What's up, dude?
Oh no, big daddy.
So I automatically go to Rain's fucking character, and she's just.
Oh no, big daddy.
Nope.
Fuck that.
Fuck that.
Oh, they're probably listening to that. Oh shit.
Yeah.
Guys.
Wait, listen to what? What are you doing out here?
Me? I went to the bathroom.
Oh, bet.
Nothing
Nothing like hearing the sound of gushing water. All right.
Where? You're listening to me, Big Daddy?
Come out.
Oh. Well, That's unfortunate. Hello?
911.
Hi.
Hey.
911.
That's 911.
Yeah. Hi.
What's up, girls?
Oh, did you? I
What?
just saw the little like
Oh my
guy in the
God.
door, in the doorway.
Yeah, his butt. I
Okay.
saw it.
So help me out here. You guys can see on my screen if there's any blue dolls. If there's a blue doll,
I got it.
do you see any?
No.
So I can
No.
go revive you. Nowhere?
Actually, no blue dolls.
No.
Damn. I'm gonna go shit.
Yeah, that one time I
She's
died,
shitting.
I don't know if it was like a cursed item that I picked up, but I was like, oh, speed run, and I was like literally right next to the circle, and I went to throw it in, and I got caught.
Whenever you died, was it
Oh, that's
like
cursed.
Oh. Yeah, it
Was
is.
it like
You
a
see that? It's
blue-
wiggling.
Oh
It's
yeah, I
wiggling.
see it.
That's a bad one. It's a bad boy.
You can still put them in the thing though, right? Get rid of them, right?
It's a mini ghost. The
The
fuck is that?
The radio. The radio.
Oh, I thought someone was gargling dick.
What?
Oh god. Ah!
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
Oh shit. Oh shit, he's coming.
Fuck away from me. Fuck away from me.
Where?
He's coming, he's coming.
He got some
Oh.
big ass feet.
Yeah.
There goes George running.
Be careful.
1 second.
Yeah, that ghost has some big ass feet. Just stomping away.
Got a little big stompers.
Yeah, big stompers.
Stomp 'em boppers. Oh!
Oh no.
He just ran right in, man.
That was
Darn it.
unfortunate.
That's creepy.
What must have
Got
been
the
it? What is it? Did you clip it?
R.I.P..
I know. Wait, what? Oh, there's a fucking doll right there.
Is there?
Did you see that blue doll? Yeah, did you see it? It was a blue doll.
I didn't see anything blue,
didn't see
but I did
anything.
see the doll.
Yeah, it's right there. Do you see on the screen? There's a blue blurb.
There's no blue. It's not showing blue on mine.
Oh, yeah, I can see it. There's a blue, like a blue blurb on his screen.
I can
You're
only see
dead?
them sometimes.
Oh, yeah, I see him. They're like, he's like
Fucking
kind of
game.
near one. my scream is crazy. I'm like
There's
right
so
by my
much
mic too.
miasma.
My
R.I.P.
asthma.
George. He's gonna run right in on him. He's gonna run right
Sure
in on him.
is.
Oh,
that's
he's in the
interesting.
best fucking room. Great.
The meat room.
The meat room.
Everyone loves meat.
I really do.
He's in the this miasma room won't go away. I don't. Oh no, it will. That's crazy. Whenever I do that shit, it never works. It's some bullshit. Dude, it's
Oh,
gonna.
he's gonna get
I feel
got.
like whenever it's Stompy, I'm gonna name him Stompy. Whenever it's Stompy, whenever it's Stompy, dude, we just always lose.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's got
It's like something
big ass feet.
True.
Oh god. There he goes.
Stompy.
Stompy.
That's the I guess.
Oh,
Oh, I am revived and I don't. Oh, okay, it's fine.
Well,
Well.
we're twinsies.
Yay.
Oh, there's a baby on the floor. Right there.
Yeah, I
George.
was gonna
Good
say.
job. There's that
Another
baby on the
dog?
floor.
Is that another baby doll?
Oh god, it's like an.
I don't know. Where? In front of George?
Yeah.
I didn't see one. Oh my god, excuse me. That's a beer.
Oh hi.
Oh.
I'm lost.
They're kind of chilly.
Oh, there's a baby doll. He just looked at it.
Oh, baby doll.
Right there. Good job.
fucking.
What does this do? Oh, so you can walk through there. I see.
Yeah, I can't. Here we go.
I can't see
Let's go, let's go.
anything. Okay, well, you sir, you have the light.
Oh, my fault.
Oh, I can see it. I can see it. I can follow. I can follow.
Okay, I'm just trying to find the baby doll to get the others back.
Um,
I don't see no baby dolls lighting up.
That's me, hey man. Oh
neither.
shit! I got one.
Oh,
Nice.
nice. It was me. Sparky.
Dude,
Oh.
Aha. I'm blind no more.
Oh man. Go away. Please. Go away. Okay, thank God.
Oh,
Hello?
is he done?
Hi, baby.
Is he done?
Hi.
God. Okay. Where the fuck am I?
Oh, you fucking.
fucking whore.
Yeah, you tell him.
Oh, found one. Sparky. Oh, is there another one in here? I'm lost.
You're lost.
Yeah.
That's okay.
Oh,
Where are you?
Hey, baby.
hi. I found an item.
Nice.
Well.
Nice.
Oh,
Nice, good
yeah.
Oh!
Yeah.
Dude, I've
Yeah.
been like not helping at all, dude. Not on purpose.
Skip up. Skip
Guys,
up.
stop teabagging the ghost, dude. It's
Skip up.
already getting. You're giving.
Bro, imagine being
Oh,
bad
my
at
ass
lying.
is
receiving?
on fire.
Are you? Are you receiving?
Alright, kill tree.
No, dude. Still haven't gotten absolute. Oh gosh, I see. It's. One day maybe I'll get something.
Yeah, but I tried getting you back. I couldn't find a
I know.
stupid baby.
It's okay. But I had a lot of fun, guys. I'm gonna get
Yeah.
off.
Okay, Gab. Yeah.
We have to play this again. I'm starting to
Yeah.
get good at dying.
Yeah, for sure. 100%.
Yeah. Good night, guys. Happy Halloween.
Good night.
Happy Halloween, Gab.
Happy
Good night.
Halloween.
Whee!
Night. Happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween.
The best thing about Halloween is the discounted candy tomorrow.
Oh my
Yeah.
God. I
Alright.
guess in
Diabetes.
theory, yeah.
Biters.
How did I
You
get?
get the.
You guys want to do a couple more rounds, or are you guys done too?
I'm cool. Another one,
Yeah.
couple more.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm gonna buy you
So-
that. This will help us. There and then.
Wait, let me wash my hands, guys. I keep touching my face, and I have makeup all over me. I'll be right back.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Sorry, guys. I keep doing.
Oh, you're
You're
good.
good.
Lizard, lizard, lizard.
Lizard. Oh. I didn't mean to pick that up. My bad.
Okay, I think we got enough. Let's do Thornwood, but just too hard on that one.
Okay.
Wolf gets back. He can join us.
Oh yeah, did he say anything on our group chat yet?
No. I want you in my room.
Oh boy. I was like,
What's up?
I was like, oh, I have all this like makeup from my face all over my hands. Because the blood on my face didn't look that realistic, I decided to use lip tint on to add the extra blood.
Oh,
And,
did it stain?
Oh yeah, it's all over my face, dude. My fingers are stained.
That's
Flipping that.
crazy.
This is all gonna be. It's gonna look so
You're
bad
gonna
tomorrow.
yeah, you're gonna look crazy tomorrow.
It's all stained. It's down my neck too. Oh no!
Why
I have
did
to go
you
to the
use lips?
gym
Why did you use
because it
lip
wasn't
stain?
dark. Because it wasn't as dark, and I wanted to look like real blood. Cause stream. Look, dude. No, it's so
What the heck?
stained, dude. I'm gonna be so stained tomorrow.
Wild.
Oh no, it's gonna look like never mind.
What?
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 What? Oh wow, look at
Beetlejuice,
wow,
Beetlejuice,
that's
Beetlejuice.
Maybe
Wow.
try hand sanitizer.
Hope you like Italian. Where'd you go?
oh, that's what he meant. Oh wow. Ha 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 ha. He's such a freak.
True.
True,
Okay,
true.
I'm ready. Should we do normal or
Whatever you want to do. You pick what you
Random.
want to do.
hard is fine. We could do random though.
Bet.
I
Okay.
like.
Do
Oh
it.
boy, Christy, you have like a 5-finger forehead.
A 5-finger forehead. So a
No, she got a
5-head?
6-finger forehead.
Yeah,
It's
girl, your hair is going all the way back.
That hairline though.
What the heck? That's crazy. Babe, remember when you used to say I had a cone head?
Yeah, I
I don't know
remember
what
that.
you're talking about.
Conveniently forgets. Conveniently forgets. That's crazy.
Deadlock that looks like you. She has a cone head.
Okay. Babe, why are you so mean?
At least flashlights are bigger than what?
He's what? What do you mean? He's just saying that's plain. You don't have a cone head.
I know I don't have a cone head.
Yeah, she doesn't.
Oh yeah.
But if it was to be a shape, definitely cone-like.
Okay, okay. That's so fucked.
That's so funny though. Holy fuck.
That's so fucked.
High five, Rain. That was funny as fuck.
That's
Rain.
so...
Oh, Rain, I need to tell you a joke I told Christy. Where are you?
Okay.
Oh, what's the joke?
Okay, Rain. So we were out one day and Christy was
Oh,
looking at my
I
phone,
remember.
and I was like, "Babe, you know, I take pictures of really weird looking things and really beautiful things. That's why I have pictures of you."
She is my gecko.
She asked me, she's like, "Well, what am I? What am I?" I just didn't answer.
Christy, you're my gecko. Remember?
Gecko.
You're my little lizard.
Eh, why is everyone picking on me?
What? Oh, hello. Oh, it doesn't like to be looked at. That's fine. That's fair. Shy, I get it. Oh, dude, these urinals.
I didn't even look at it. I didn't even look at it. That's so fucked.
Interesting. Christy's already dead.
She's dead? Brother.
Yeah, no skill issue.
Okay.
Oh, actually, okay, Brain, drop it real quick. I can actually burn it in my hand.
Oh, shit. There you go.
So, let me see it. All right, got it.
I shall look for a doll.
There we go. Yeah, I'll look for one too.
Dude, I think it's
Oh, hi.
It's the night ghost. Oh.
Yep. What's up, dude?
You
You were telling me what it is, and I was like staring at his eyes. I was like, yeah,
Around the corner.
got you. Damn, baby.
Got you.
I got you right where I want you.
Not empty. I got a kitty. Oh. I never got spooked.
Oh, hi.
Are you okay?
We're good. We're good now.
Amber.
Amber.
He's
He's
fine.
fine. Coming, Rain.
I had to run in.
I had to run in with
There's
that
a mimic
stupid
of
ass
me.
ghost.
Oh,
There's
beautiful.
a
Oh,
mimic
beautiful.
of me.
Yeah, I hear her.
Yeah, I hear
It's
her.
upstairs. It's upstairs. It's upstairs.
Got it, got it.
Got it, got it, got it.
Just joking.
Rain died.
Rain dying to herself would be so funny.
Oh, there's a doll over there. There's a doll.
Nice.
Christy, I am looking for a doll. Is that a no?
Are you? You
That's
fucking
not a no.
whore of a ghost.
A doll. Christy, are you back?
You're a cunt.
No.
You know that? You're a grade A.
That's the wrong doll.
Turn this off because sometimes it's bad. Yep. Oh wow.
Oh, hey.
Oh, hey.
Oh wow. Hey, the hangman actually did me good this time.
Nice.
Nice.
Yeah, put me at the entrance. Wait, no, wait, Masamune? Wait, why do I make you want to mop your floor? I'm glad I can get you productive.
Pissing me off.
Hey, baby girl.
That wasn't the doll.
Oh,
Yeah, it's the other doll. The doll with the blue
Where?
dress. You were actually near it when you were upstairs.
Okay, well, I'll go after. I'm not gonna die.
Oh, my ear is like itchy. I was holding Ember and she got spooked by something.
It's a ghost.
I know. I'm like, oh, what are the chances?
It's Texas.
She like jumped out of my arms.
Oh. Bro, the ghost be doing its thing. Okay, so if you see one, do you see any blue on my map?
I think it's upstairs.
It's upstairs?
Yeah.
All right. I gotta turn off this light though.
Yeah.
You found it?
No. Hey, what's good? Hey, what's good, gang?
She said it's upstairs.
Okay, I'm gonna go upstairs and check.
Okay.
Had to run in.
Mannequin. Fuck. Brother. Why?
Blue flower, blue flower, blue flower.
Of course.
Of course.
Okay. Fuck. Bye.
Oh, hey, what's up, dude? Hey, what's up, dude?
Chrissy, is it in here?
No. I think you're still
Fuck.
downstairs.
Am I?
Oh, find it, baby.
Oh. Hi.
Hey, what's up, mannequin?
My baby girl's alive.
Alright, cool. Where the fuck am I? Oh, I'm near the entrance.
Hi.
Hello. My baby girl's alive. Is the mimic still up here or is it gone?
No, it's
No, it's a mannequin now.
Oh, mannequin.
Oh, mannequin's gone.
Ah, fuck.
He's back.
Bathroom.
So come in here, I'm pooping. Hi, Rabbit. Of course
Do you want to die? Do you want to die? Do you want to die? This is how you die. Dude, stop giggling.
What if Christy? I'm gonna just giggle and talk and like you're facing the toilet. You're in, Christy.
Do you see your position? Do you see this?
What is that? That is the door. You can't save them all. Christy,
What?
look at me.
Was
Turn around.
Okay.
That
She was facing the doorway again.
I was hiding in the stall.
it doesn't. It's not hiding when the stall's open. What do you mean you're hiding?
That's why I said, don't
Are
come
you-
in here, I'm pooping. But of course I go in the stall with like the with the pile of hay on the toilet.
Yeah. I love you, man.
I love you too.
You just I can't make some shit up with you, I swear.
How many times have I yeah. George is doing
Oh,
a
there's
lot
a
better
mimic,
than
bro.
me.
Crouch, motherfucker.
He's been carrying.
Don't look at it. Don't look at it.
Rabbit, you little fucking
Oh.
cunt. I heard that shit. Where are you?
Oh. Well,
Rabbit?
oh.
Where are you, Rabbit?
Where are you, Rabbit?
I heard you.
I heard you.
Babe, I heard Rabbit talking shit. Where are y'all?
You heard Rabbit talking shit? How?
No, in your chat. He's talking shit in your chat.
Oh, yeah. I said you were carrying. Oh. Thanks, Sparky. Rain's dead.
Yeah, I figured. I'm looking for the baby doll now.
Where is the circle? Oh, downstairs, right?
Oh, wait. Baby, give it to me.
Oh, here.
You can
I
just-
think it's a cursed item. I didn't check. Oh, shit.
Oh. Run, run, run.
I don't know how come he's not live. I thought he was streaming today.
I didn't want to
I didn't want to stream because I didn't want Rabbit watching. That's exactly the reason why.
Oh, because we called Rabbit. I blame you. I'm just kidding. I feel like shit. I did my time already. I gotta do more solo fast.
People apparently like that. So.
Where are you?
With Diddy.
With Diddy?
Looking for Rain's thing.
Oh, what the?
I didn't like that girl.
I didn't like that sound. Oh! Found it! The cursed ashtray. Oh.
What's up, Diddy?
I don't know how come he's not live. Right? Oh, there's a mimic of me somewhere. I don't know how come he's not live. Right? Okay. Okay. I'm just gonna go put it downstairs because I don't know where George. Oh fuck.
Hold on, Rain. I'm gonna get you back. Oh,
Oh,
Christy just
Christy
died.
died.
that's a little awkward.
Yeah, I died to my mimic.
Oh. Got one of y'all back.
Yeah, Chrissy died to a mimic.
Okay, got you, Rain.
Thank you.
Yep. Ooh, this my asthma. That's a lot of my asthma. That's a lot of my asthma. If I
do you have
do
the
say so
phone?
myself.
Can you hear me?
Get her back.
Fucking cunt.
Okay, got it.
Oh,
Oh, nice. Okay.
Or why are you pulling
Touch me,
into
fucker.
rooms?
Fucking get my shit.
So, no, for
Oh,
sure. She's not
okay.
fucking-
Can I?
Chris, are you alive?
Yeah, I'm
Oh,
alive.
you're alive.
Where's my
It's a baby girl.
flashlight?
Dude, I can't see shit.
Oh god, did the breaker?
Breaker died. I'm gonna put the miasma ball over here because miasma started.
I don't know where my flashlight is.
I don't know. Grab another one.
Well, I would if I could see.
Babe, follow me.
I can't even see you. Oh, now I can. Oh, hello.
Hello.
Pizza!
I can take an order.
Why did we say the same thing?
Hello, Chitty Walker. Take your order, please.
Oh, there's a flashlight out here. Oh.
Take that one.
Oh, it's hunting by itself.
Wow, it's diddling itself. That's crazy.
What, Paul, what do you mean don't die?
I'm trying my best, okay? I'm doing. Oh, you mean in Resident Evil? I'm gonna try my best not to die in that Resident Evil game. It's gonna be rough. I don't.
Oh, you only played RE4?
That's a great game.
Great game, by the way.
Yeah, I've never played RE, any of them actually.
Hello.
Can you answer that?
Where is phone? Hello. Can I take your order?
Oh, the power's out.
Bro. Watch out, Christy. There's a thing there.
The power is actually out. We ran out of gas.
Leave me alone.
Babe,
I'm gonna need that flashlight back. Generator's out.
Okay.
And
There you go.
Come on,
just follow me. Wait outside.
Move here.
Over here.
I got you.
I'll pop my ult just in case.
Oh,
There you are. The power of Christ compels you, you retarded.
Oh, how?
Oh,
Sit.
it didn't compel her. Oh no.
Works out.
What
It's
the
okay,
fuck?
baby girl.
It works out.
Maybe I'll pop
what?
on my priestess. Oh, look at that.
There you go.
There you go.
go. Oh, babe, get inside. Babe, turn around. Get inside. Get outside, I mean. I'm gonna go look for gasoline.
Get outside. Sparky, get in there.
Yeah, use your ability. Make him actually do something.
Yeah, go do something.
Yeah.
Piece of shit dog.
I'll give a glow stick, I guess. Come on, Sparky.
I need that, actually. There's a thing right there. Do you want that?
Oh, magnified. No, I don't, actually, because I can't hold the glow stick and the magnifying at the same time.
Gas. I found gas.
That's good. Yes, it's good.
Oh, what?
Can't wait to drink this gallon of gas.
Just a
It's gonna
gallon?
taste so good. There we go. There we go. Power's back on.
Woo! Nice.
Gotta flip
Gotta flip
the
this
breaker though.
Okay, I'm all the way down here. I'm going insane.
Where is it? I got it. I'm burning it. I'm gonna flip the breaker. There we go.
Oh, hi, Sparky.
Lights back on. Now I just need a magnifying glass.
Alright, I got the other one.
Okay. Come
I'm
down,
going
come down.
insane.
Nice.
My sanity.
I need one more, I think. Or is it the last one?
Oh, I don't have a magnifying.
Great.
Oh, there's like a safe in here. Can you do
That's a
anything
lot
with
of
it?
miasma. Oh, babe, there's a flashlight over here.
Oh, can you,
Yeah, I'm taking it to you.
where are you?
Right here.
Right here. Here.
Anything.
Yay.
Yay.
I don't know where my magnifying glass is, though.
I don't know where that's at. I need to find another.
There was one somewhere.
Where did my little ball go? That. Oh, there it is.
Yeah, there you go.
I'm gonna drop this in there. That cleanse.
Where is my magnifying glass? I thought I dropped it over here. Or did I drop it outside? No. Where did I drop it?
What do you mean? We're at 61%. It's good percent. Oh, my legs, dude.
I don't know where I dropped my magnifying glass.
I dropped one somewhere.
Yeah, I dropped one too.
In one of these rooms.
It could be this thing. Oh, that one's bad. That one is a cursed item. Do not get it. It's a teddy bear.
Oh shit.
Oh shit!
Oh, is it
Oh, it's moving.
Yeah, that's the mini ghost. So we're pretty good. Actually.
Yeah.
Mm,
Nice.
Good call.
Good call.
Go upstairs. Hopefully I can find.
I saw it somewhere, but then I lost it again.
Oh, what?
Sparky,
Oh, I
Find
found
any
it.
item? You find it?
Yeah, it's up here.
Oh, it's so dark.
I'm trying to find it.
Find other items.
Yeah, it's up here.
It's up here.
I'm using it right now. There's so many possible objects. It's fucking insane.
Hmm.
This is as bad as the Diddy party I went to the other day. Who said that?
Wish I had my magnifying glass.
Paul John.
Dude.
Oh,
There he is.
Hey, what's up, Shadow? How you doing? Get out of here, Rabbit. Get out of here, Rabbit. We're good. Yeah, we're good.
Yeah, good.
Dude, where's this last cursed item?
Sorry,
Seriously,
bro. I
send
was
your dog to
kind of
do
focused on
something.
this. Carrying, as usual. Just kidding.
hi.
It's the fucking last. Fucking kidding me. Fucking kidding me.
Hello?
Hey, baby.
Hey, baby.
Hi. I still haven't found my magnifying glass.
Oh,
So
I
I'm
found it.
I
useless.
found it. It's in my hand.
Run.
Oh, hi. Run now.
Hey, we're good.
Oh!
Did you find it?
No. Oh,
What happened? Oh,
Sparky found an item.
hi.
Here, I'll drop it.
yeah, that's an item.
Yeah, it's an item. I get it. I'm burning it, and we're good.
That should be it.
That should be it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, take it.
Yeah, take it. Take it.
Yeah, I'm fighting her. I'm dancing. I'm so excited.
Yeah, take it. Take it, boy.
Woo.
Nice.
Sorry, Shadow.
Sorry, Shadow. I was focused on the game.
I don't think you could hear me either, because I wasn't in radius of you.
One more.
One more.
Do we actually get anything good?
Oh, I didn't
Any-
even see if I got anything on my skill tree.
Like, I just want an extra point.
Yeah, I got one extra one. I need one more for the next level. So
I only have one.
that's it.
But I'm so close to finally leveling up. I've noticed in the top right hand corner, and I'm so close.
Yeah.
And I can actually do something.
Or maybe you're right. Maybe you have to level up to get a skill point.
That might be.
Yeah. Sun card added to deck grants a glowing. Oh, this is all of her skills. Okay. I didn't realize it was okay. I'm stupid. I thought these were different. You can do dealer, gambler, or witch. This one banishes the ghost from doing any activity, including haunts for 50s. That's actually sick as fuck. Oh, is this one death? Oh, that one's actually sick. There's a death card where you can kill a ghost. It's probably reverse. Redraw. Allows one card to change a ponder on it. Oh, I like that one too. They're all really good, guys. I don't know. This makes me want to play more because I like skill trees.
Yeah, me too.
One more?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay, cool.
Down.
And then I'm gonna play Resident Evil.
Bet.
probably, yeah,
Random. Hard.
yeah. Probably last one, because my stomach is hurting again.
You go poop.
Okay.
No, I feel nauseous.
Oh. Hopefully you don't
That
have the
means-
stomach flu or food poisoning.
That means
I don't know,
McDonald's
it's
tonight.
been like,
Ooh, sounds like you need a McFlurry.
Yeah, exactly.
no, yeah,
Ice
it's
cream
been like
makes
the
everything
last 2 days, and like, it started after I had that freaking leftover breakfast taco.
Ew, you ate a breakfast taco?
Yeah,
You
A
mad woman.
leftover one.
yeah.
I've never had a breakfast taco. I've had breakfast burritos, never a taco.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it's like a
Yeah,
thing
it's
here.
weird to me. Like people outside of Texas don't have breakfast tacos, and that's weird.
Really? I don't know. I like
It's, like, everywhere
chilaquitas. Oh yeah,
Chilaquitas
it's
is
kind of
good.
like a tacos. It's like a taco.
Yeah.
Like crumbled up taco.
A lot of salsa.
Mmm. So good.
That's good.
Christy, Masamune says, poop away the sickness.
Agreed.
Be gone, shit.
Well, I did have the shit.
I like your
today,
mom's
too.
taco. Ooh.
Wild.
Ooh, your mom's taco is great. Okay, you guys ready to go?
Yeah.
Aw, Ember's just sleeping on the floor.
I hope, I think RE2
Oh, is it
remake
me?
guy-
Oh,
Oh, is this place again?
oh, it's the hospital again?
Yeah, that's okay.
That's okay.
I'm a PlayStation girl.
Fun time.
Fun times.
Are you also a PlayStation girl, George?
Yes.
Yes.
100%.
Yes.
Run through. Rocking that Spyro the Dragon, Crash Bandicoot.
Mhm. All the good ones. Kelowna. Do you remember that one? Did you play that one? With the it's like a rabbit.
Kelowna.
Super cute. Yeah, it's like Klonoa.
I've never
Maybe
heard
I
of
say
that.
it weird. Yeah, I'll gift it to you. Whoa, bitch.
What the hell
Chill
was
the fuck out. It was your stomach.
that?
Your stomach is coming back for you.
Oh!
What?
Sparky found an item. Here, babe.
Ah.
Where'd you go?
Right here.
Sparky found an item. Oh, he found 2!
Okay, let me take it. There you go.
Okay. Oh, Sparky, come back.
Green.
I have like a pet.
Oh. Oh, God. Oh, I got teleported away from Sparky. Sparky! Oh, God.
Sparky put me in a goddamn miasma.
Oh,
Found it.
Sparky, where'd the other item go?
Chrissy, I'm lost because you're a stupid dog.
Oh god. How? Why did I get teleported next to a room with my asthma? Oh, that's what he had. He had my magnifying glass. Oh, fuck. What in the actual fuck? Hello? Okay, I'm just gonna try to find my way back. Hello?
Hello.
Hello?
That's Sparky. Someone's chewing on something.
There we go. Hi.
What's up?
Sparky had my magnifying glass. That's what the other item he had. I
Sparky, give me my fucking doll. Pick my doll. You know what? You have it. Fuck you.
I'll get it. Sparky. Sparky, drop the dog. Or the doll.
Person, fuck you.
There. There you go.
Just put it on this thing.
Oh, okay.
Put it on that. More stuff here.
Oh!
That's lovely.
Bitch.
Run away, bitch.
I'd like to enter, please.
There you
Okay.
go.
Oh! Oh, okay, she's still there.
She's fine. Oh, there she is.
Oh, hi.
Oh, hi.
Oh.
Oh.
Why is it me?
Why did I get teleported next to a room with my asthma? Oh, a mimic of me. Oh, nice. Why did I get teleported next to a room with my asthma? Give me that, Sparky.
Whoa, bitch.
There's a mimic of me.
Yeah.
I found or Sparky found another item.
Hunting.
Where'd you go?
Oh, we're good. We're good.
Here. I'll drop it.
Can't use it yet. Hold on, give me a sec. There you go.
Yellow.
Yellow.
Nice.
Where's Rain?
Where's Rain at? She dead?
I thought I revived her. Unless she died again.
Oh. Got another thing here. Alright, I'll be back.
Rain, you live?
Oh, shit. Oh.
Christy,
My bad.
Christy, you stood on
Oh,
the
wow.
stairs. You stood there.
Babe.
I love you. Yeah, as soon as you revived me, I used my deck
Damn,
of cards and then it
gas,
put me
I'm gonna
somewhere
look
else
for
and
the
then I just
dolls.
died again. Or no, it was the high priestess and it didn't
Ugly
do
ass
anything,
dolls.
That sucks.
So,
I'll be right
yeah, stick yourself. Okay, big girl. Just gonna shit, guys.
Take.
Just gonna take a mad dookie, I bet. Just gonna be like, R.I.P. toilet, you know? But don't tell her I said
Why?
that. Don't.
You gotta go. You gotta go.
Well,
Wrong doll.
I'm pretty sure. I don't blame her. I think she also might have like IBS. I'm not sure. I know I do for sure. My stomach is. Whoa.
What are you
Don't. She's gonna get you. She's gonna get you. God, she's so wet, dude. Oh, man. That's not what I meant. That's not what I meant. She sounds wet, okay? God damn it,
Oh, hi.
I just can't make it not
You
sound
fuck
bad.
off.
Like, she sounds like any word that describes the fluid of which she carries around her, just bad. She sounds like she had.
Probably up here. Really? Okay. Yep. Oh, okay. Oh, wow. Okay. Hi. The fucking bell. Fast track. Let me fucking explore, you bitch. God, that my ass was done. I think I got you revived.
Oh, I'm actually alive. What the heck? Oh! Sparky, give me that. Are you guys alive?
I am.
I am.
Oh, where'd you go? Oh god, the wet feet.
Fucking whore. You're a dumb bitch. You know that?
Bitch,
I don't like you.
I don't like you.
Where are you?
I'm upstairs.
I'm upstairs, third floor. The second floor or whatever.
Looking for the blue baby.
Looking for the blue baby to revive Rain.
I have an item. I don't know where you are though.
I said
No,
second
I said
floor.
second floor, baby.
I think I'm on this. Or maybe I'm not.
You're on the first
Oh.
floor. This second floor up here.
Here you go.
Got it?
Green.
Green.
Oh. Okay. God, the wet feet.
fuck away from me.
Ah.
Need a bell. Tired of this fucking my ass just pissing me off. Where's Christy and Sparky? This bell.
Aw.
What the fuck is she doing?
That bitch and her wet ass feet. Oh.
They'll kill you, or
That was quick.
yeah,
Hey, bitch. You're
yeah.
pissing me off.
So you eventually have to like get all the items
on.
and stuff
Did
like that.
I buy the
And then
incense?
eventually,
Just for my person?
all the mini ghosts
I did not.
will go away.
That's a.
And so, because some of them are really annoying,
I'm
like
probably just
mannequin.
gonna have to look for it myself. So.
That lady and her wet ass feet got me.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's
don't
better.
hit.
It's a better than fast.
Oh. Okay. Light switch, light switch, light switch. There we go. Okay.
No shot. Bitch. That's fucking crazy how quickly that killed me.
Where's my flash? God.
You just gotta run and hide. You know, it's like just really annoying. Like you have a crucifix to stop hunts, and that's it. Like it's not fun. Yeah, this is way more fun. It's like this and Demonologist are pretty, or not Demonologist. What's the game that I do have? It's like an exorcism game too, but that one's really fun. But this one's a lot more fun because you have like these like trees that you can like,
Got myself.
because you have abilities, so you have these trees that you can put your points into, and you can get like cool items for that tree or whatever for that character. So it's like really cool. I like that.
I'm dead again.
Yeah, I got mega smooth brain.
Oh.
Actually, me and Christy share one brain cell, and we we give it to each other back and forth. So we have to like keep it simple for our small brains. Our one brain cell can't handle more than that. And also just it's easier for people to follow along, like without having too much explanation, because I feel like Phasma now you have to like kind of explain what everything does, and then they all look weird.
What the fuck?
Yeah. Calm down, Lester.
Who's turned with the
Lester.
cell right now? What do you mean?
Don't worry,
Lester.
Lester. I'll get your medicine for you. Where the fuck's the magnifying glass? Had it here somewhere. I just don't remember.
It's just right here because it's like makeup. Oh, dude, my back. I need a new chair, guys. One day.
My chair from Amazon.
This
It's
chair-
pretty comfortable.
Yeah, this one leans back way too much. I gotta find one that has like a nice like that I can like test. This one leans way too like it's great if you like to lean in your chair, but I like to have a stiff chair.
Nice.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
Yeah. You like
So then I
stiff
can place my-
chairs.
A little like the back. This one I can't even like lay my back. It just goes so far back. Like this is me laying back.
Oh, I.
My stream is right here.
No,
I have
you're
to.
straight
This
up.
is the back. You never know what's going in Phasma. I just know when the streamer's alive or scared. Yeah. Yeah. It's I don't know. It's they complicated it a lot. Maybe it's just complicated for me because I haven't played it in a long time. It's just not very scary. It's like, oh yeah, the ghost is kind of there. It's mostly jump scares, I think. This one is actually kind of scary. It can be. Granted, every ghost game has jump scares, but you know, I think this one's well done. Phasma used to be so scary, especially when they came out with those like really big maps. Oh, it was awful. I remember the skull used to terrify me so much, and then they made remember the prison?
This bitch.
The wet woman.
The wet woman.
She got that moistness.
Ew.
She's moister than an oyster, you know?
Ew.
Her meat's wet.
That's nasty.
You stop teleporting me everywhere, you dumb bitch. Thank you.
Yeah, what is her like thing? Like, does she not like when you like look at her or make noise? It's hard to tell. Fuck. I keep touching my makeup. No, I used to be a van princess, and then I grew a big pair of balls, and then also like I can't give you guys an experience by sitting in the van. But I used to, like in this game, I used to get really scared. Chrissy can attest to that. And then I would just stay in the van, and Chrissy's like, "What the fuck?" Or stay outside, and Chrissy's like, "What are you doing? Get inside!" And I'll be like, "I'm scared though." I think I've been getting a lot more brave.
Yeah.
Lately, so that's pretty good. Like I've played Mortitary Assistant, and then at first I was scared, and I was like, "Oh, this is kind of lame." I was like, "I can play this game." No problem. That's why you watch me, right? I'll be the big brave. Oh, hello. 1-800 biatch. Remember from She's the Man?
Shit the shit out of me.
What's your number? 1-800 biatch. Just watching that. Oh.
Of course I find it.
Ring. Ring. Hello. Hello.
Go for it.
Cigarettes are so gross. My mom would smoke a lot of cigarettes.
Can you not burn it in his hand at all?
I used my special already.
Oh.
No, it's a miasma. I think.
Oh my god, there's one more.
Oh no. And then what is... Oh no, she's right there.
Oh.
Aww.
Damn.
Wet woman got you.
Yeah.
Freaking telephone.
Yeah. That's the real terror. It's racking up the
Oh
phone
my God,
bill.
it's still ringing. Okay.
Game is ass.
Yeah, that one was hard.
Did I get a skill? What the fuck, man? How do you get fucking SP points?
That's a good
question.
Cause
Yeah,
like I love...
You probably have to not fail, maybe. I don't know.
Whoa, what are you trying to say?
Oh.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah, that
are we-
was definitely my last one because I got sick.
Oh, did you throw up?
Yeah. I mean, I feel better, but yeah.
Aw. Oh, my poor babies.
Sorry, baby.
Nah, it's okay.
Aw. But you feel better?
Yeah, I feel a little bit better. Yeah, I
Dude,
don't know
whenever-
what it is. I think maybe it was food poisoning or something because it's been
And-
like since the other day since I had that leftover breakfast taco. I've just been like so sick.
Oh no. Well, I hope you feel better. Oh, my poor baby.
Thank you.
I whenever I throw up, I'm a mess. I start crying. Like my body just immediately starts crying for no reason. I'm not like actually actively crying. Just I have tears streaming down my face from when I throw up. It's just
Oh
I
yeah,
don't know.
like, I didn't make it to the toilet. I accidentally threw up in the sink and I had to clean it up.
oh.
All right, baby.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna let you go do that. If I was
Oh.
My fault.
Wow.
My
Wow.
fault.
Wow, babe.
That's on me. Sorry.
Alright. I'm gonna go ahead and raid Rain.
Sorry, Rain. My fault. I actually forgot we were in a fucking. I don't know why I was thinking we were in a Discord. Oh, I'm so stupid. Yeah.
Alright. 1 second.